Chapter 48-46. The sage sky map shattered, and sage blood dripped down. Many people's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was completely different from what they had expected. Sheng Tian's face was even more ferocious. He quickly retreated, and his palm returned to normal. "Good lad, I have underestimated you. I didn't expect you to have such a strong physique. However, you have underestimated me. Let me show you what a true expert is." Sheng Tian roared. Boundless light shone from his back and formed a sky map. Daos danced on it. The entire area became oppressive. Everyone felt that their souls and blood were about to be sealed. It was terrifying. They tried their best to retreat. In the distance, Qing Feng and Bai Lifei's eyes flickered. "Lin Xian is here again." Bai Lifei clenched his fists. That punch was too terrifying. "Lin Xian's strength has increased too much. I have no confidence in winning." Previously, Bai Lifei had lost to Lin Xian twice. Naturally, he had to cultivate crazily. Now that his strength had increased, he wanted to challenge Lin Xian again. However, when he saw Lin Xian's punch, his confidence was shattered. Qing Feng smiled wryly. Why did she feel that this guy was so strange? How did he increase his strength? Even as a member of the Phoenix race, she didn't have the right to face Lin Xian. She sighed. Sheng Tian was going to be in trouble. When the surrounding people heard Qing Feng's words, they were stunned. Sheng Tian was going to be in trouble? How is that possible, given Sheng Tian's strength? Even if he was injured previously, it must have been due to carelessness. Now that he had used his full strength, how could he lose to Lin Xian? Sheng Tian turned into a bolt of lightning and carried the sky map on his back. He took a step forward, and the earth shook. Seal. His palms formed a seal, and the sky map behind him surged out. It carried an ancient and mysterious aura. Countless seals appeared around Lin Xian. He felt that the space around him was solidifying and was about to be completely suppressed. His body shook, and he used the heavenly walk step. He disappeared in a flash of light. His original location was sealed, and he had appeared in another location. The six-path fists attacked. "It's useless. You're no match for me." Sacred Sky was emotionless, and the sky diagram behind him shone even brighter. He actually dared to attack head-on. When he saw Lin Xian charging straight at him, he didn't even try to dodge. His heavenly map descended and transformed into 16 heavenly steels. He wanted to suppress them in one fell swoop. 6 paths reincarnation. Lin Xian brandished his fists continuously, displaying an indomitable will. Boom! The 16 heavenly steels shook violently. Cracks appeared on them, and they suddenly split apart. How could this be? Countless people were terrified. Sheng Tiankong spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying, his expression extremely ugly. He had already done his best, yet he was still unable to do anything to the other party. Light of the demon god. Lin Xian spread out his 10 fingers, releasing a terrifying demonic light. Holy Sky used all of its power to block half of the attack. However, the other half pierced through his body. Half of his body shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Lin Xian took a step forward and arrived in front of Nailin Yanran like a bolt of lightning. "I've already given you many chances, but you still don't repent. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite." "What do you want?" Nailin Yanran was terrified. She didn't even have the courage to attack. Lin Xian said coldly, "I saved your life back then, and I can take your life today. Your life is in my hands, not the heavens." With that, Lin Xian attacked with lightning speed. "Damn it!" Nailin Yanran roared and attacked crazily, striking out with a peerless attack. However, it was useless in front of Lin Xian. Boom! A piercing sword light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, directly splitting apart all the divine abilities. A black jar appeared in his hand. It floated up and down and directly swallowed Nailin Yanran. No way, Nalan Yanran was suppressed. In an instant, countless people were shocked. Lin Xian's methods were too terrifying. Damn it, let Nalan Yanran go. Sheng Tian roared. He had already recovered his physique, and he attacked again. This time he took out a scroll, and an extremely terrifying great Tao bloomed on it. Could it be the sacred weapon of the Sacred Heavens clan? The heavenly map? Countless people were shocked. No, it was a replica of a sacred weapon, and its power was no weaker than a great sage weapon. It seemed that this time he was going to use his trump card. With such a weapon, he wouldn't be defeated again. Sheng Tian's expression was ferocious as he used the heavenly map to attack. The power of the heavenly map was several times stronger than before. Lin Xian's face was completely gloomy. He put away the heaven-devouring jar, and his eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. I've already spared you several times on account of you being from the Sacred Heavens clan, but you still don't repent. Since that's the case, I'll send you to hell. Lin Xian waved his hand, and a dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared. Slash. With a slash, the power in his body disappeared instantly. This slash was enough to split the heavens and earth. The entire Moon Spirit Valley shook nonstop. Countless people were terrified. After the slash, the heavenly map was split into two. Sheng Tian's body stopped in place, and his eyes were wide open. The light was disappearing. He couldn't believe it. You dare to kill me? He spat out a few words with difficulty, and then his body split apart. Was he dead? Countless people were stunned. That was Sheng Tian. He was a top genius of the Sacred Heavens clan, and the personal disciple of an elder of the heavenly sect. Even if other great sages could defeat Sheng Tian, they wouldn't dare to kill him. But now, the kid in front of them didn't hold back at all, and directly destroyed Sheng Tian. Wasn't he afraid of the Sacred Heavens clan's revenge? Wasn't he afraid of being punished by an elder of the heavenly sect? However, Lin Xian wasn't afraid at all. He put away the dragon-shaped sword shadow and said coldly. He told the fifth elder of the Nalan clan that if he wanted Nalan Yanran's life, he would have to offer 30 world cores. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian leaped up and disappeared from the world. The surrounding people went crazy. Didn't he say 3 before? Why did it become 30 now? Qing Feng sighed. Since he dared to provoke Lin Xian, he had to pay 10 times the price. Everyone's scalps went numb. Someone looked at Qing Feng and said, Fairy Feng, you seem to know this person very well. Who is he? How can he be so powerful? Countless people were terrified. Those from the heavenly sect also gritted their teeth. They looked at Sheng Tian's body, and their scalps went numb. They knew that a huge storm was coming. They had to find out who exactly that brat was. Qing Feng said, Don't you know? He is Lin Xian of the True Path sect. Previously, he had challenged the Dragon Palace, killed the Dragon Prince's clone, and established the Divine Union to compete with the Dragon Palace. He was Lin Xian. This guy had such a shocking battle record. Countless people sucked in cold air. Where did he come from? Why did it feel like he had appeared out of thin air? Qing Feng took a deep breath and said solemnly, he came from planet Xiuan, and he used to have a nickname, Invincible Lin. Chapter 48-47. Lin Wuti. This name was too arrogant. Who in the world dared to call themselves invincible? However, when they thought of what Lin Wuti had done, they were terrified. He even dared to kill the disciple of a heavenly sect elder. How could he not be arrogant? The heavenly sect members gritted their teeth. Lin Wuti of the True Path sect. We will remember this. They quickly left with Sheng Tian's body. The others also left the Moon Spirit Valley and went their separate ways. The news spread quickly, and many people were shocked. Someone dared to do such an arrogant thing. Was he tired of living? He killed the disciple of a heavenly sect elder. He suppressed the number 1 genius of the Nalan family. What else did he want? In an instant, Many people were investigating. When the Nalin family heard the news, they were stunned. Nalin Yenran was suppressed by Lin Xian, and he took her away. Damn it! Nalin Yenran's father roared, crazily. The fifth elder's face darkened. He had thought of many possibilities. He had thought that Lin Xian would come knocking on their door directly. However, he had never thought that Lin Xian would dare to attack Nalin Yenran. Wasn't he afraid of his anger? This kid might just be threatening us. He wouldn't dare to do it, an expert beside him said. The others nodded in agreement. However, when they heard that Lin Xian had killed Xingtian, their faces turned green. Their hair stood on end. The fifth elder roared, crazily. No, we have to find Yenran's whereabouts. Xingtian's status was even more terrifying than Nalin Yenran's. If Lin Xian could kill such a person, Nalin Yenran would be even more so. If they really angered Lin Xian, he would not show mercy. Therefore, they had to find Lin Xian quickly. The eighth elder also gasped when he heard the news. Wasn't this a little too unwise? Suppressing Nalin Yenran was understandable. However, killing Xingtian would offend the heavenly sect. Nalin Liang sighed. He did not say anything. However, he knew that Lin Xian had a nickname, Mad God. How could he be afraid of killing Xingtian? If he dared to challenge the Dragon Prince, why would he be afraid of an elder of the Sky sect? For a time, the entire Holy Abyss ancient city was talking about this matter. This was because Lin Xian was too shocking. The elders couldn't find Fairy Yenran. He couldn't find the kid's whereabouts. A series of reports could be heard coming from the fifth elder's residence. The fifth elder's face was gloomy and cold. He shattered the void with a punch. Damn it, Nalin Yenran's father asked. Were they really going to give that brat 3 world cores? What kind of joke was this? The experts at the side roared in anger. If they were threatened by a brat, they would obediently give it up. Would they still have the face to go out in the future? He would definitely become the laughing stock of the world. The fifth elder said, through gritted teeth, spread the news that we're willing to give him 3 world cores in exchange for Yenran. However, we will secretly mobilize our men and set up an inescapable net. I'll make a trip to the Sky sect to see Elder Tianshui. Sheng Tiankong is his personal disciple, and now that he's been killed, I refuse to believe that he won't be enraged. If we can get Elder Tianshui to take action, who cares if he's a genius? No matter how strong a genius is, he'll be suppressed. Let's go. The fifth elder waved his hand, and the experts under him moved. At the same time, he was also preparing to head to the Sky sect. After the people from the Sky sect returned, they spread the news. The entire Sky sect was in an uproar. What a mistake. Lin Xian from the True Path sect is too arrogant. How dare he kill a genius from the Sky sect? Does he really think that the Sky sect is a pushover? Let's go to the True Path sect. We'll get them to give us an explanation. The people from the Sky sect were infuriated, especially those from the Tianshui Pavilion. The Tianshui Pavilion was established by a group of top geniuses with Elder Tianshui as their backer. Sheng Tiankong was one of them. At this moment, these people were rushing to the True Path sect. Lin Xian, come out and die. Kneel down and kowtow. Roars and shouts of anger could be heard. When the people from the True Path sect found out, they were also in an uproar. How dare that Lin Xian be so arrogant? The people from the Dragon Palace sneered. On the Divine Union side, the Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongya, and the others frowned when they heard the news. However, they weren't afraid because they had already made preparations. Bai Susu also walked over and said, "Let's go and meet them." The people from the Divine Union walked out. When the people from the True Path sect saw this, countless people followed. They wanted to see how this matter would develop. Bai Susu walked out and shouted coldly, "What? How dare the Sky sect act so arrogantly in the True Path sect? Do you think that there's no one in the True Path sect? Where's Lin Xian? Tell him to come out and die." He dared to kill Sheng Tiankong. He's dead meat. No one can save him. Bai Susu sneered. She asked, you said that Lin Xian killed Sheng Tiankong? Then let me ask you, did the two of them fight one-on-one? At that time, the people from the Sky sect didn't bully him with their numbers, right? The people from the Sky sect snorted. How could that be? Of course, it was a one-on-one battle. Bai Susu smiled. A one-on-one battle. How could the Sky sect still have the face to come here? When two top-notch geniuses fought, if one side fell, it would be because their skills were inferior. Why, weren't the Sky sect ashamed to come here? It wasn't as if the elders had killed him. This could only mean that Lin Xian was strong and Sheng Tiankong was an ant. Could it be that the Sky sect wanted to touch the geniuses of the True Path sect? Ask the elders of the Tao-seeking sect if they agreed. The surrounding people were also in an uproar. How could this be? Lin Xian had actually killed Sheng Tiankong one-on-one? They were all stunned. At first, they had thought that Lin Xian would join forces with the people from the Divine Union. Now, it seemed that this wasn't the case. If that was the case, things would be different. Some people from the True Path sect snorted. The Sky sect was just SOSO. Sheng Tiankong was on the Xian roll, but he couldn't even beat Lin Xian. The Sky sect must be on the decline. Damn it! The people from the Sky sect gritted their teeth. They knew that they wouldn't get anything today, so they gritted their teeth and said, just you wait. The Sky sect won't let this matter rest. Bai Susu and the others also returned. She hurried to the core area to contact her father. She was afraid that the elders of the Sky sect would secretly make a move. On the other side, the Naylan family also announced that they were willing to exchange 3 realm cores for Naylan Yenran. In an instant, countless people exclaimed and looked for Lin Xian. Lin Xian seemed to have disappeared after killing Sheng Tiankong and suppressing Naylan Yenran. Moon Spirit Valley. There was a small black vortex inside. There was an independent space within the vortex where 2 figures stood. One of them was Lin Xian. No one expected that he hadn't left at all. He was still in the Moon Spirit Valley. This space had been opened by the Void Beast, and Naylan Yenran was standing opposite him. Naylan Yenran's face was extremely pale. She gritted her teeth and said, "What do you want? I advise you not to do anything to me. Otherwise, the Naylan family won't let you off." Chapter 48:48. Lin Xian smiled. "I just received news that your grandfather is willing to exchange 3 world cores with you." Hearing this, Naylan Yenran heaved a sigh of relief. "Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and exchange." She didn't want to stay by Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian sneered. "How could it be so simple? Do you think I'm so easy to bully? First you were grateful, then you betrayed me. If I was weaker, I probably wouldn't have gotten anything. Now, it's not like 3 world cores can calm my anger. I'll make you pay back 10 times. Naylan Yenran's body trembled, and despair appeared in her eyes. Pay back 10 times? How could her grandfather take out 30 world cores? What else did she want to say? However, Lin Xian directly used the heaven-devouring jar to seal her up, and then left Moon Spirit Valley. Soon, Lin Xian appeared in front of the Sacred Abyss Tower. The news spread in an instant, and countless people gathered. The people of Naylan Yenran's faction also hurried over. Naylan Yenran's father shouted angrily, "Kid, where's Yenran? If you dare to hurt her, I'll destroy your soul." Lin Xian sneered. "Where's the thing?" Naylan Yenran's father, Naylan K, said coldly, "The 3 world cores are with me. Let Yenran out first, or you can forget about getting it." Lin Xian laughed. 3 world cores? Not enough. How did you treat me before? I'll make you pay back 10 times. Hearing this, the surrounding people's faces changed. Naylan K's pupils shrank. Pay back 10 times? Is this kid crazy? Are you trying to extort me? His eyes were filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were also filled with killing intent. Lin Xian sneered. Can't take it out? Since you can't take it out, why did you have to be so black-hearted? If you were a little kinder to me, today's situation wouldn't have happened. Of course, I can give you another chance. If you can't take out 10 times the world cores, then give me 3 world cores. At the same time, Nailan Yanran, you and that 5th elder all have to kowtow and apologize to me. Furthermore, it was done in front of everyone in the world. Was Lin Xian a pushover? What kind of joke was this? How many terrifying existences had he battled along the way? Today, if the Nailan family didn't pay a painful price, his anger wouldn't be appeased. Brat, do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. Nailan Quechan stepped out and roared towards the sky. Whether it was the first condition or the second, he could not agree to either. Lin Xian said, Why? You want to fight? Sure, a battle of life and death. We sign a life and death contract. Nailan K gritted his teeth and prepared to fight to the death. To be honest, he couldn't figure out where the other party's confidence came from. Could it be that he was even more powerful than the 6 Paths cultivator? You don't dare? Lin Xian sneered. You're also an ant. Go back and tell the 5th elder to kneel down and kowtow to me in apology. Damn it. Nailan K was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. The members of the Nailan family were also roaring. However, no one dared to act rashly in this place. This brat was too cunning. They were incomparably depressed. They were already close to the Holy Abyss Tower. If they acted here, they would be challenging the Holy Abyss Tower and would be killed by the divine generals. However, they didn't leave. They couldn't let this brat escape again. There were other onlookers in the Holy Abyss ancient city. They were all discussing. This was the first time they saw such an arrogant and bold young man. At this moment, the sound of killing shook the sky in the distance. It was as if thousands of thunderbolts had descended. Lin Xian, die, the people nearby exclaimed. The people of the heavenly sect were here. This was going to be a good show. The heavenly sect was an existence even more terrifying than the Nailan family. They were one of the 3 great orthodoxies. The top genius of the heavenly sect, Sheng Tian, had died in the hands of Lin Xian. They would definitely not let this go. Brat, let's see how you're going to die. The members of the Nailan family gritted their teeth and sneered. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He didn't care. So, what if you're from the heavenly sect? The people of the heavenly sect in front of him were filled with killing intent. They shouted coldly, Lil Zhang, get over here and die. Lin Xian sneered. Why, can't the heavenly sect afford to lose? I'll fight Sheng Tian one-on-one. It's a fair fight. My cultivation is 1 realm lower than his. I killed him with my own strength. What's wrong with that? Those of the younger generation of the heavenly sect who have the strength to kill me, come out. If I die in battle, I won't complain. Who dares to fight with me? Lin Xian took a step forward. His voice was like thunder shaking the surroundings. A terrifying sword intent rushed out of his body. His finger was like a sword ray, pointing forward. You dare? The people of the Sky sect were stunned and stood there in a daze. Dare they? They knew the strength of Sheng Tian. He was an expert on the profound ranking, the personal disciple of an elder, had many trump cards, and even had the bloodline of the heavenly sect. Even so, he still died. Could they be a match for him? Although the person in front of them was arrogant, his strength was equally terrifying. You're really arrogant. You killed my junior brother. You can't escape death today. A cold voice sounded in the distance, but in an instant, a figure appeared in front of everyone. Countless people looked over and were shocked. It was actually him. The people of the heavenly sect also smiled. Senior brother Yi Chun, that's great. He's here. The people of the Tianshui Pavilion of the Heavenly Sect walked up. Senior brother Yi-Chen, please suppress that kid. Yes, he's too arrogant. The person who came was called Yi-Chen. He was also a genius of the Heavenly Sect and the personal disciple of Elder Tianshui. Moreover, he was the senior brother of Sheng Tian Tian. He was even stronger than Sheng Tian Tian. After he arrived, he stared coldly at Lin Xian. Come out, kid. Unless you stay under the Holy Gulf Tower for the rest of your life, you can't escape death. Lin Xian sneered. You're the senior brother of Sheng Tian Tian. Are you going to stand up for him? Well then, do you dare to have a life and death battle? Why wouldn't I dare? Yi-Chen took a step forward. He also exuded an extremely terrifying killing intent. In a life and death battle, life and death were up to fate. It was best to kill him on the battlefield. The surrounding people exclaimed. It was unbelievable that the two sides were going to have a life and death battle. People like Yi-Chen were rare geniuses. If one of them died, the loss would be unimaginable. Under normal circumstances, they would definitely not have a life and death battle, but now they had agreed. Okay, in 3 days, you and I will have a life and death battle. Lin Xian's sonorous voice spread in all directions. Yi-Chen was not afraid. As you wish, I will personally avenge junior brother Sheng Tian. The news quickly spread. Countless people were in an uproar. Let's go and take a look. This kind of battle was extremely shocking. Firstly, they wanted to see who the legendary arrogant Lin Xian was. Secondly, they had come because of his reputation. Yi-Chen was more famous than Sheng Tian Tian. He had not fought for many years. Now, what level had his strength reached? The entire Holy Gulf ancient city could be said to be in turmoil because of Lin Xian's every move. Chapter 48-49. The news quickly spread to the Dao sect. The people in the Dao sect were also shocked and went to watch the battle. Lin Xian was a famous person now. The Crimson Dragon and the others in the Divine Union also received Lin Xian's message. Bai Susu went to the core area to invite her father. The Levitation Saint came to witness the battle. The Levitation Saint was also emotional. He had just met Lin Xian, and he had not expected this little guy to cause such a stir. To be honest, he was also shocked. Both the Nalan family and the Heaven sect were huge forces. Lin Xian was not afraid at all. This courage was very rare. He naturally would not refuse, so he immediately went to the Holy Gulf Tower. The Heaven sect also received the news, and many people were shocked. When Leaf Daodenier heard this, he was just as surprised as Yang Qi. Smiling, he shook his head and prepared to watch the fight. On a mountain peak, there was a chessboard under an ancient pine tree. 2 old men were playing chess. One of them had brown hair and was wearing white robes. It was Elder Tianshui. Opposite him was Nalan Yenron's grandfather, the 5th elder. The 5th elder asked, Brother Tianshui, are you really not going to do anything? Elder Tianshui shook his head. Although I am very angry, he is just a young junior. If I attack him directly, wouldn't I become the laughingstock of the world? However, don't worry, I won't let him off. I have already sent my other personal disciple, Yi-Chen. He is the senior brother of the Sacred Sky sect, and is even stronger. He will be able to resolve everything. Indeed, before long, the immortal crane flew over and transformed into a human. It knelt on one knee in the void, and reported to its master that news of young master Yi-Chen had arrived. In 3 days, he and Lin Xian would engage in a battle to the death. Elder Tianshui sneered. He waved his sleeve, and the immortal crane retreated. He looked at the 5th elder and said, there was no problem. Lin Xian would definitely die in a battle to the death. It was obvious that he had great confidence in Yi-Chen. The 5th elder also heaved a sigh of relief. With young master Yi-Chen taking action, there would be no problem. Taoist Tianshui, why don't we watch it together and be witnesses? A cold, murderous intent appeared in Elder Tian Shui's eyes. Even though Sheng Tian had only joined him recently, he was still his disciple. Killing his disciple was equivalent to slapping his face. He also wanted to see how capable this Lin Xian was. How dare he be so arrogant? In 3 days, the news spread everywhere. Countless people rushed over. For example, the people from the Dao sect's Dragon Palace laughed coldly and came to watch. Lan Jiyu and other members of the Blue clan also looked ferocious. They also had a grudge against Lin Sun, so they wanted to see him die with their own eyes. There was no need to mention the people from the Sky Sect and Tianshui Pavilion. The people from the Nalan family had also come. Even Nalan Liang, the 8th elder, and the others were watching anxiously. Was there really no problem? On the other side, the members of the Duga clan were also shocked when they received the news. Lin Xian was their benefactor. Duga Shao Yi, Old Man Dugu, and the others all rushed over. They wanted to see it with their own eyes. If Lin Xian was really in danger, their clan would definitely do something about it. On the other side, the Fire Dragon clan and Fire Dragon Lady also came. Qing Feng by Li Fei and the others all rushed over. In an instant, the clouds gathered from all directions. By Susu, the Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongya, and the others also came. The Feather Saint came to Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian stood up and cupped his fists. Greetings, Senior. Sorry for disturbing you this time. The Feather Saint said, It's fine. It's nothing. But are you really confident? Lin Xian smiled. If Sheng Tian's master was here, he might be able to threaten me. But he's just a senior brother. I don't care about him. The Feather Saint was also shocked. He had heard of Yi Chen's reputation. He was extremely terrifying among the young geniuses. Was Lin Xian too careless? However, he had also heard of other legends about Lin Xian. He was definitely not weak, since he could kill Sheng Tian. In the ancient city, there was a primordial battlefield that specialized in life and death battles. The Feather Saint brought Lin Xian to the primordial battlefield. The others also followed. Countless people had already gathered around the primordial battlefield. Yichen stood with his hands behind his back. He looked calm and didn't care about this life and death battle at all. Beside him, the people from Tianshui Pavilion and Nalan clan sneered. They couldn't wait to witness this battle. Not only that, Elder Tianshui and 5th Elder also came. They sat high up in the clouds. On the other side, 8th Elder and the others frowned. Lin Gongzi wasn't here yet? Just at this moment, someone exclaimed, They're here! Countless people looked over and saw 2 figures walking through the air. It was the Feather Saint and Lin Xian. After the Feather Saint arrived, he said loudly, Today, I'm Lin Xian's witness. This is a life and death battle between Yi Chun and Lin Xian. No one else is allowed to interfere. If anyone secretly tries to kill Lin Xian, don't blame the Dao sect for being impolite. Countless people gasped, although some people already knew that Lin Xian was from the immortal graveyard and had no future, but now he was still a dazzling genius. The Dao sect would definitely protect such a person. All right, little guy, go. The Feather Saint stood above the 9 heavens. Lin Xian's figure flashed and landed on the primordial battlefield below. He looked at Yi Chun and said, Come on, you can't wait to throw away your life, can you? Yi Chun opened his eyes. There was a terrifying blue light in his eyes. Then, I'll fulfill your wish. Blue laws surrounded Yi Chun, forming a terrifying sea that tore through the void. The people in the distance exclaimed, Heavenly Spirit, holy water. Heavens, did he really cultivate such a peerless mystical ability to such an extent? Even those of the older generation sighed. This Yi Chun was truly incredible. Prepare to die. Yi Chun waved his hand. The Heavenly Spirit, holy water, turned into a huge blue sword and slashed down. I'll kill you in one move. The Heavenly Spirit, holy sword, slashed down mercilessly. Ha ha! That kid is dead for sure. The people from Tianshui Pavilion sneered. The people from the Nailan family were also excited. The people from the Blue family and the Dragon Palace also widened their eyes. You want to fight me with a mere sea? Lin Xian didn't make a move. He roared at the sky. Golden flames suddenly rose from his body and swept in all directions. In an instant, the sky and earth turned into a golden sea. It was as if thousands of suns had appeared together. The light turned into golden crows and swept in all directions. The moment the holy water fell into the sea of fire, it instantly evaporated, turning into white mist that drifted in all directions. This is your strength? How pitiful! If you only have this level of strength, I'm afraid you can't even break through my defense. Lin Xian was like a sun god, looking down on all directions. Chapter 4850. Countless people were shocked when they saw this. The heavenly spirit holy sword had been broken, and Lin Xian had done it without even making a move. He had done it with his aura alone. Heavens, what kind of physique is that? It's too terrifying. Yi Chen's face was full of shock. This was completely different from what he had imagined. Before he could come back to his senses, endless flames gathered on Lin Xian's body, forming a flaming sword that slashed down from the sky. You have a taste of my swordsmanship. 9 suns open the sky. The sword slashed down, splitting heaven and earth. How could it be so powerful? Yi Chen's face became extremely pale, and the seawater around him kept evaporating. Damn it, I can't block it. He suddenly retreated to the side and seemed to have dodged the sword. However, he was already in an extremely sorry state, and his hair was charred black. On the other side, Lin Xian held the divine sword in his hand, looking like a peerless sword god with unparalleled divine might. With this comparison, the difference in strength was obvious. The surrounding people were stunned. They had originally thought that it would be a fierce battle, and at least Lin Xian would be greatly suppressed. But now, it seemed that the situation was completely different. Damn it, how could this kid be so powerful? Could it be that he was more powerful than the 6 Paths itinerant cultivator? The 5th elder was dumbfounded. Elder Tianshui's face also darkened. Chen, don't be careless. Yes, master. Yi Chen turned his head and nodded solemnly. Then he looked at Lin Xian. I admit that I underestimated you. Next, I will use all of my strength. Prepare to go to hell. Heavenly water sword. He formed a blue divine sword again and held it in his hand. At the same time, a heavenly water armor appeared on his body. He looked like the god of the sea had been resurrected. Boundless heavenly water. The entire battlefield was enveloped by the blue laws and turned into monstrous water. Other than where Lin Xian was, there were rumbling sounds everywhere. Lin Xian was like a blazing sun, blocking all the attacks. The flaming divine sword in his hand attacked again. The entire sea was rolling, and a vacuum appeared. Nothing could stop Lin Xian. Yi Chen retreated again, bleeding. Her face was pale. Impossible. What kind of flame was this? Who are you? He roared crazily. Even Elder Tianshui in the sky stood up. His physique, could it be? He was too shocked. This was because this scene was very similar to a legendary starry sky divine body. The others were also in an uproar. Even the Feather Saint was stunned. His eyes were emitting cold radiance. Could it be the 9 Yang divine physique? His voice shocked countless people, causing their scalps to go numb. 9 Yang divine body. Had the legendary starry sky divine body reappeared in the human world? This Lin Xian actually has the 9 Yang divine body. No wonder he was so powerful. No wonder he was not afraid of the Skywada Saint's sword. How could he have such a physique? Elder Tianshui's face turned pale. The heavenly water laws that he cultivated were most afraid of flames of extreme yang. However, those kinds of flames were extremely rare and difficult to encounter. Therefore, in his opinion, Yichen was not afraid of anything. However, he did not expect Lin Xian to have one of those extreme yang flames. The 9 yang divine fire could burn the heavens and destroy the earth. This time, Yichen met his nemesis. "Stop. Yichen has lost this battle," Elder Tianshui said loudly. Countless people were in an uproar. It had not even started, but it was already over. The faces of the Nayland family members turned ashen. Below, Yichen's pupils constricted. He said, "Master, I haven't lost yet. Please let me fight." As a top genius, how could he be willing to admit defeat in front of everyone? "Master, have you forgotten that I still have another ultimate skill? Disciple, are you going to use that ultimate technique?" "No, it's too dangerous. Didn't you promise me that you won't cultivate in the future?" Elder Tianshui seemed to have thought of something, and his pupils constricted. "Destiny is like this. Even if I don't cultivate, it will still exist in my body." Yichen turned around. The heavenly water laws on his body disappeared and were replaced by an even more terrifying aura. It was abnormally terrifying. In the distance, the toad saw this scene and frowned. What a powerful poison. Could it be that he was a poison cultivator? The expressions of the surrounding people also changed, and they all retreated. Yichen was handsome like an immortal before, but now he was sinister and terrifying, like a demon king from hell. His handsome face began to rot, and his eyes became incomparably ashen. His fingers also grew sharp nails, and with a light wave of his hand, heaven and earth would shatter. Elder Tianshui sighed and closed his eyes. The 5th elder and the others were shocked. What was going on? Elder Tianshui said that Yichen had won this battle. From now on, there would be no Lin Xian in the world. Countless people were shocked. Lin Xian had the 9 yang divine body. He had previously displayed a powerful aura and defeated Yichen in a few moves. Now, Elder Tianshui actually said such words. What was he relying on? Was it the strange scene in front of him? Above the 9 heavens, the levitation saint also frowned when he saw this scene. He said in surprise, "Could it be that you have the Poison King's body?" "That's right." Yichen smiled sinisterly. The Poison King's body was a fusion of 5 poisons. No one could withstand it. "Kid, this is my biggest secret. In the past, I might not have revealed it in my entire life. But in order to kill you, I have revealed my greatest trump card. From now on, I am the Poison King, and you will fall into hell forever." The Poison King's body was very terrifying. It was not born but condensed and formed. There were many strange beasts in this world. Some were powerful, some had strange magical powers, and at the same time, some had extremely powerful poisons. The toad whispered to the crimson dragon and the others. The Poison King's body was a fusion of 5 extremely powerful poisons. Its power was extremely terrifying. Perhaps even a supreme saint would have a grudge against it. This Poison King's body was hard to come by in thousands of years, because no one could withstand the fusion of 5 poisons. Only one in 100 million could survive. They did not expect Yichen to have such a trump card. It seemed that things were not going to be easy. The Crimson Dragon, Red Leaf, and the others frowned. The Poison King's body? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. This was interesting. You were too weak before. I hope you won't disappoint me now. As he spoke, he stomped his foot and instantly appeared in front of the other party. He punched out. Buzz. Yichen's figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already behind the left side. He stood there, the poison on his body dripping continuously. Deep pits appeared on the primordial battlefield. Countless people were horrified. It was too terrifying. What a fast speed. How did he dodge? In that instant, no one could keep up. It seemed that after becoming the Poison King's corpse, not only did he become stronger, but he also became stronger in all aspects. Lin Xian was probably in danger. Chapter 48:51. Useless Brat. Although you have the divine nine-yang body, you haven't reached the great accomplishment stage yet. As for my Poison King body, even a saint would retreat upon seeing it, let alone you. Now you can go to hell. Hand of 10,000 poisons. As he spoke, Yichen waved his hand and turned into a heavenly spider, charging over. Lin Xian struck out with his golden hand, blocking the spider's arm. At the same time, he frowned as he realized that his flames were being corroded. Clang! A low sound rang out. The poison passed through the flames and reached his body, emitting a deafening sound. The divine nine-yang body tried its best to resist, but the runes on it dimmed. How terrifying! Su Chun waved his arm and forced his opponent to retreat. However, his opponent continued to charge over. The spider's arm, the scorpion's tail, and the snake's venomous fangs. The centipede's body, the toad's skin. Every part of his opponent's body was highly toxic. Even a great saint would die if they were to occupy it. Therefore, his opponent didn't dodge at all. He charged straight at Su Chun. Brat, what are you going to use to fight me? Yichen sneered. He suppressed Lin Xian. That's great. The people of Tianshui Pavilion cheered. The people of the Nailan family heaved a sigh of relief. This time, there shouldn't be any accidents, right? Lin Xian was beaten until his body swayed and retreated to the edge of the battlefield. A cold light appeared in his eyes. You have the strength. You can actually pressure me. You deserve my full strength. Hearing this, the surrounding people went crazy. Lin Xian hasn't used his full strength yet? What kind of joke is this? His divine nine-yang body is already being suppressed. Does he have an even stronger trump card? But how is that possible? The divine body is already amazing. What else could be more amazing? Yichen also laughed out loud. Brat, don't deceive yourself. Even with the strongest physique, you're not my match. What do you have to fight me? How can an ant know the vastness of the world? Lin Xian snorted. Next, I'll show you what it means by there's always someone better. A sharp killing intent burst out of his eyes, and he turned into lightning and charged over. The divine nine-yang body was even more terrifying. It was useless. 10,000 poisons descended. Yichen sneered. Her body moved, and the law of poison turned into a black fog that enveloped everything. It was enough to poison any great sage to death. Lin Xian was instantly enveloped. Not good. By Su, and the others immediately tensed up. The battle was over. Elder Tianshui stood up and prepared to leave. However, in the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The black fog was torn apart, and Lin Xian's fist turned into a ray of light. It was as if 6 worlds had appeared between heaven and earth. With a boom, Yichen was sent flying, her body shattered. Her already rotten body became even more terrifying. How could this be? Elder Tianshui turned around abruptly in disbelief. Could the other party withstand the 5 poisons body? Damn it, what kind of power is this? Yi Chen's face was ugly as his broken body slowly healed. His eyes were fixed on Lin Xian. It was obvious that this punch was much more powerful than the previous ones. Lin Xian strode over and snorted coldly. I've said it before. You're worthy of my full strength. He waved the 6-path fist again, and the entire world shook. Damn it! How dare you underestimate me? Yichen was also angry. Since he had already used the Poison King's body, how could he stop? With a raise of his hand, he could kill all things with poison. However, Lin Xian's 6-path fist combined with the divine nine-yang body was really too powerful. It could sweep through the 9 heavens. 6 paths of reincarnation. 1 punch. Super godly. At this moment, countless people's eyes lost their light. They only saw a fist that turned into 6 worlds descending from the sky. What kind of fist technique was this? There was a boom. With a scream, Ichin was sent flying. His body turned into a bloody mist, and only his head was still intact. However, he roared crazily. Impossible! I won't lose! Everyone went crazy. Even the Poison King's body couldn't withstand Lin Xian's punch. Did he still have any tricks up his sleeve? If not, I'll send you on your way. Lin Xian's body was filled with poison, and it kept dripping. However, the poison couldn't enter his body at all. Yi Chen's body condensed again, and his glabellus suddenly split open. A blue bottle flew out, and 3 drops of blue water fell from it. Each drop could crush the heavens. There were many people watching the battle, and the bodies of the weaker ones turned into a bloody mist. There were also some people who directly retreated. The entire ancient battlefield began to tremble vigorously. What kind of trump card was this? Sky water bottle. It contained Heavenly Spirit Divine Water. Damn it! Why did Ichin have so many trump cards? Some people sighed. There was no other way. He was the personal disciple of an elder. So how could the trump cards in his hands be weak? Each of them could sweep through the world, but Lin Xian was even more terrifying. They didn't know how Ichin would resist the Heavenly Spirit Divine Water this time. The Heavenly Spirit Divine Water was like 3 mountains that surrounded Ichin's body. Boy, no matter how strong you are, you can't break through the divine water. Without your power, how can you compete with me? The reason why he was injured was because he fought in close combat with Ichin. Now he had to pull away. Not good. Lin Xian's advantage was suppressed. Bai Susu's face was pale. Lin Xian sneered. Who told you that I was only good at close combat? He didn't step forward, but his eyes bloomed with a mysterious golden light. Ichen's body was like a ghost, drifting erratically, and the Heavenly Spirit Divine Water of the 3 lands was still surrounding him. As for him, he shot out poison that filled the sky. Everywhere it passed, it turned into a poison domain. It enveloped Lin Xian. No matter how many tricks you have, I'll destroy them with a glance. Lin Xian's voice became ethereal as if it came from another world. At the same time, the golden light in his eyes suddenly turned into flames and flew forward. Like 2 golden dragons, they danced between heaven and earth. The black poisonous fog was instantly torn apart. At this moment, everyone was stunned. What was this? What a terrifying eye technique. Damn it. This was the power of reincarnation. It was the light of reincarnation. Lin Xian's gaze turned into the light of reincarnation and pierced through heaven and earth. The poison was torn apart in an instant. The Heavenly Spirit Divine Water also lost its defensive effect in an instant. Poof! The smile on Ichen's face froze. He retreated as if he had been struck by lightning. He let out a miserable roar that made one's scalp go numb. There was poison dripping from his body, but nothing could stop it. The light of reincarnation directly killed his soul. I can't accept this. He let out a final cry, but he fell directly on the battlefield. His eyes were wide open when he died. He really didn't expect to die under the gaze of his opponent after blocking his close combat power. Was he dead? Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. The people of Tianshui Pavilion and the Nailan family were dumbfounded. Elder Tianshui was also stunned. He had used the Heavenly Spirit Divine Water and the Poison King's physique, but he was still killed? How was that possible? Who was his opponent? How did he have so many powerful trump cards? Who are you? Elder Tianshui roared. Chapter 4852. Ichen's death shocked countless people. The 5th elder went crazy in disbelief. Elder Tianshui's expression was ferocious and murderous. Who exactly are you? He shouted coldly. It was hard for him to imagine that a young man who had just joined the True Path sect could have such powerful strength. The others also looked over. Lin Xian laughed. I am Lin Xian of the True Path sect. In the future, you can call me Invincible Lin. What an arrogant title. How dare you call yourself invincible? Countless people were shocked. Yichun was already dead. Who would stand up for the Nailan family? Lin Xian pointed his sword in all directions. The people of the Nailan family had gone crazy. Their faces were filled with fear. Being targeted by such a terrifying genius would be very dangerous in the future. Kill him. I must kill him. The fifth elder's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He could not wait to attack. Lin Xian was the most terrifying genius he had ever seen. If Lin Xian was still alive, they would be in mortal danger. Thinking of this, the fifth elder looked at Elder Tianshui and said, "Brother." Elder Tianshui's expression was cold. His gaze could tear the 9 heavens apart. He sneered, "Invincible Lin, what an arrogant name. I am an elder of the Sky sect. I did not want to attack you, but you killed 2 of my personal disciples. This is intolerable. Take this, and this. Regardless of life or death, I will not attack you again." Before he finished speaking, Elder Tianshui attacked with his palm. Between heaven and earth, the blue light condensed into a large palm, covering the sky and covering the earth as it rushed over. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian. The surrounding people went crazy. They did not expect Elder Tianshui to attack. In the sky, the levitation saint's pupils shrank. "How dare you?" He slashed out with his sword, but it was too late. Lin Xian was enveloped by the blue palm. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The void was completely shattered and turned into nothingness. It's over. That kid is dead. That was for sure. Elder Tianshui was a powerful being in the middle of the supreme sage realm. He was 100 times stronger than Yichun. How could Lin Xian survive this attack? Is he dead? Haha, that's great. The Nailan family's father laughed proudly. The fifth elder and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Now that the Nailan clan's peerless enemy had been eliminated, they could finally be at ease. Damn it, the eyes of the Crimson Dragon and the others instantly turned red. Fu Hongya and the others also exclaimed, "Young martial uncle!" Lin Xian was strong, but at present he could only compete with the Great Sage Initial. The Great Sage Intermediate was much stronger than the Great Sage Initial. One was in the sky while the other was in the earth. Lin Xian was struck by this palm, and it boded ill rather than well. The Feather Saint had a cold expression. He waved his hand and shattered the blue laws that filled the sky. However, Lin Xian's figure was nowhere to be seen. Was he really dead? The Levitation Saint's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Elder Tianshui. "How dare you make a move on him? Are you challenging the Tao sect?" When he took a step forward, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Elder Tianshui's face turned pale as well. He spat out blood and retreated. He roared, "Although you are a saint, I am an elder. If you kill me, the Tao sect will declare war on the Heaven sect. Can you bear the consequences?" Damn it, the Levitation Saint had a cold expression. He couldn't make a move because the other party's status was different. However, he wouldn't let him off. Elder Tianshui stood up and said loudly, "He killed 2 of my disciples. It's not wrong for me to strike him once. Moreover, I said that after this palm strike, regardless of life or death, I won't make a move again." Damn it, Bai Susu clenched her teeth. The Crimson Dragon roared in anger and wanted to fight to the death. However, they were all stopped by the Levitation Saint. If a battle broke out now, they wouldn't know. Humph, what Lin Wudi? He's too arrogant. Nailan Yenron's father sneered. How dare a young man call himself invincible? The fifth elder snorted coldly. What an arrogant fool. Even the Thearcha's son didn't dare to use the title of invincible. How could he? They all laughed proudly and were in a good mood. Old man, are you done laughing? At this moment, A cold voice rang out from the shattered void. The fifth elder, Nayland K, and the others stopped talking. It was as if the Grim Reaper had grabbed their necks. They were terrified. Who was it? Who was playing tricks? They roared crazily. The others were shocked too. Elder Tianxue turned his head abruptly and stared at the shattered void. Originally, he had wanted to leave, but now he realized that the situation was not right. Was it Lin Xian? Bai Susu was shocked too. The levitation saint's eyes shone with a sharp light. The others widened their eyes too. Could it be that the kid wasn't dead? What kind of joke was this? That was Elder Tianxue's attack. How could a sage ruler block it? Even if he had the 9-yang divine constitution, it wouldn't work. From the shattered void, a figure walked out slowly. Lin Xian's face was pale, and his body was stained with blood. It was obvious that the previous attack had severely injured him. However, he had many trump cards and used the Great Sage Pagoda to block it. Although he was injured, it wasn't fatal. However, this had infuriated him completely. It was really him. He wasn't dead. Countless people were shocked. Bai Susu, the Crimson Dragon, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian wasn't dead. They were relieved. How could it be? How could he still be alive? The fifth elder looked as if he had seen a ghost. Elder Tianxue's eyes narrowed. How did you do it? Did the levitation saint help him secretly? However, that attack was too sudden. The levitation saint couldn't react in time. Old thing, you're despicable. Lin Xian stared at Elder Tianxue. It was a battle to the death. Your disciple deserved to be killed because he wasn't as skilled. However, you're despicable enough to sneak an attack on me. Where's your honor as an elder? Is everyone in the Sky sect so despicable and shameless? Damn it! Elder Tianxue's killing intent gathered. The levitation saint appeared on the battlefield below. He came to Lin Xian's side and stared at him. Try attacking again. I can guarantee that your soul will be destroyed instantly. He was furious. This time, he would definitely protect Lin Xian. Damn it. With the levitation saint around, he couldn't attack anymore. It seemed like he had to find a chance to kill Lin Xian secretly. He was prepared to leave. I've said it before. After this attack, your life and death are up to you. I won't attack again. As he spoke, he turned to leave. You want to leave? Lin Xian snorted. Elder Tianxue turned around and sneered. Why? Do you want to attack me? Lin Xian gritted his teeth. His eyes shone with a cold light. He said, I'll use your head to pay for this attack. The others were shocked. This guy wants to kill Elder Tianxue? That's impossible. Elder Tianxue was also cold. Then he laughed. You cultivate for another 1,000 years. He didn't care about Lin Xian's killing intent. He had to guard against the levitation saint. However, he was an elder after all. His status was different from the young disciples. He represented the Sky sect outside. If he died, the Sky sect would go crazy. Chapter 48:53. The levitation saint added, This matter isn't over yet. I'll get the Sky sect to give us a satisfactory explanation. These words were directed at Elder Tianxue. Although you're an elder of the Sky sect and have a superior status, the Sky sect still has its rules. You took advantage of your seniority and attacked a disciple of the Sky sect. The Sky sect won't let you off. The levitation saint's voice was firm. Elder Tianxue's pupils shrank. His face was cold as he waved his sleeves and left quickly. The levitation saint looked at Lin Xian and channeled some energy into him to help him recover. At the same time, he took out a bottle of elixir. This was a sacred healing elixir. Lin Xian took it and thanked the senior. The levitation saint said, Don't worry, I won't let him off easily. After I send you back, I'll head to the Sky sect immediately. Lin Xian nodded and didn't say anything. The sky sect's rules allowed for punishment, but Lin Xian knew that wasn't enough. He said that he would repay the palm with the other party's head in the future. He wasn't just saying that for fun. Today, Lin Wudi's title had spread. However, he had another title, the Mad God. He had some trump cards that he hadn't used yet. Lin Xian didn't know how to use them. However, after becoming the Mad God, Lin Xian wouldn't hold back. After dealing with the Nailin family, it would be Elder Tianshui's death. At this thought, Lin Xian retracted his gaze and looked at the fifth elder. Now that the sky sect is gone, who will stand up for you? If you want Nailin Yenran's life, hand over 30 cores of the world. Or kneel down in front of the world, kowtow, and admit your mistake. Lin Xian's voice caused the surrounding people to exclaim. They thought that this matter was about to end. Who would have thought that it was just the beginning? Countless gazes fell on the Nailin family, especially the fifth elder. The fifth elder's face turned ugly. Even Elder Tianshui couldn't do anything to the other party. Could he? If it was before, he could still kill the other party. However, the Levitation Saint was beside the other party now. If he dared to attack, the Levitation Saint would kill him. Father, what should we do? Nailin K gritted his teeth and asked. The fifth elder took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He knew that Nailin Yenran would never come back. He didn't have 30 world cores either, so it was even more impossible for him to kneel. Staying here would be a disgrace. So he gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go." With that, he turned around and left. But what about Yenran? Nailin asked. The fifth elder turned around, his eyes cold. I told you to leave. Are you going to defy my orders? Nailin K's pupils shrank. I don't dare. He gritted his teeth. He knew that doing this meant that he had given up. Nailin Yenran. Although the other party was the number one genius of the family compared to making the fifth elder kneel, it seemed that he could only give up on Nailin Yenran. Go. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth and waved his hand. The people of the fifth elder's faction soared into the air and quickly left. Did he leave? Everyone was shocked. Today's scene was simply too shocking. Elder Tianshui and the rest were helpless. They did not expect the Nailin family to back down. Could it be that Lin Xian was that powerful? Lin Wudi, this name spread in their hearts for the first time. He was indeed that powerful. In the distance, Green Phoenix Bailey Fei was extremely shocked when he saw this scene. Although they had already guessed it, seeing it with their own eyes was still different. On the other side, Fire Dragon Lady was also shocked. Fortunately, she had given him a world core previously. Otherwise, if he had resisted back then, she would have ended up in a worse state than Nailin Yenran. On the other side, the old man of the Dugu family heaved a sigh of relief. He said, Xiaoi, after this matter is over, go and give Lin Gongzi the sacred healing medicine. Yes, grandfather, I understand. Dugu Xiaoi nodded. Everyone thought that the matter was over, but Lin Xian did not think so. Would it be over just because he had given up on Nailin Yenran? Would he have suffered that palm strike for nothing? What kind of joke was this? He would let everyone know that he, Lin Xian, could not be challenged. He would let the people of Holy Abyss, Ancient City, know the consequences of being ungrateful. Little guy, let me send you back. The Levitation Saint waved his hand and brought Lin Xian back. By Susu, the Dark Divine Dragon, and the others also returned. The others also left. At the same time, the news spread. In an instant, countless people were in an uproar. The people of the remote antiquity families, the great sects, and the three great orthodoxies were all stunned. Lin Xian was actually so powerful that he had killed Yi Chun. He had withstood Elder Tianshui's palm strike and not died. He had even scared away the elders of the Nailin family. Every single one of them was astounding. Moreover, he had even dared to call himself Lin Wudi. In an instant, this news spread all over the place. When the people of the Dragon Palace found out, They gritted their teeth. Damn it, why didn't he die there? Lan Ziyu and the others were envious. It seemed like they would have to come up with an even more terrifying lineup and strength to deal with Lin Xian in the future. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others returned to the spiritual abode. The people of the Divine Union also heaved a sigh of relief. Boss Lin, that's great. Lin Gongzi, you are just like a god. The people of the Divine Union congratulated him. They had also seen the thrilling battle previously. By following such a person, they would definitely be able to rise up in the future. All right, let's all cultivate. After joining the Divine Union, I will bring you to the top of the world. Lin Xian smiled at the crowd. Then he said, I'm going into seclusion. Lin Xian went into seclusion in the hall. During this time, Duga Xiaoyi also came, and so did the Fire Dragon girl. They both brought healing holy medicines. However, they did not see Lin Xian. Lin Xian brought along countless heavenly treasures and quickly recovered. He arrived at the Sword World. He also took 2 stalks of the spiritual medicine that he had planted in the 4 Spirit Valley to recover. His body glowed with multicolored light as his injuries slowly healed. On the other side, the Nalen family was also in an uproar. They had all heard about what had happened to the 5th elder. Many of them had even seen it with their own eyes. They had not expected that their family would be suppressed by a young man and become a joke. The Nalen family head was furious as he reprimanded the 5th elder sternly. He also warned the 5th elder and the others not to go out again, lest they embarrass the family. Damn it, Nalen K roared. The family actually doesn't care about us anymore. The 5th elder's face was also cold. Forget it, we have lost this time. We will go into seclusion and break through. When the time comes, we will return the torture we suffered today 100-fold. Also, keep an eye on that kid. If he goes out to carry out a mission, inform me immediately. I will definitely make sure he doesn't return. Clearly, the 5th elder also had the intention to kill. He was prepared to do it himself. On the other side, the Levitation Saint had arrived at the Sky Sect and questioned the Sky Sect's rules. This matter had already spread. Everyone had seen Elder Tianshui make a move on a young junior. This had already broken the rules set by the 3 great orthodoxies. The older generation was not allowed to make a move on the younger generation. Since they had broken the rules, they had to be punished. Chapter 48:54. On the Sky Sect side, a sage elder walked over and said, Brother Ascension Transformation, Tianshui has indeed broken the rules. The Sky Sect will punish him. He will be punished by the sin of burning the heavens for a month. He will be struck by lightning for a month. Furthermore, he will not be able to step out of the Sky Sect for 50 years. Are you satisfied with this? The Ascension Saint could only nod when he heard this. The sin of burning the heavens was to be burned by the fire of burning the heavens for a month. After that, he would be struck by lightning for a month. Even though Elder Tianshui was a mid-stage great sage, he would still be severely injured after these 2 punishments. The Ascension Saint said, I don't wish to see something like this happen again. Of course. The Sky Sect elder nodded. The next step was the execution. Elder Tianshui was brought along with the sealing chains and thrown into burning Sky Valley to be refined and burned by the flames that filled the sky. His hair was disheveled as he roared at the sky. His body was charred black. Many parts of his body were broken and fresh blood flowed. Lin Xian, I won't let you off. Elder Tianshui gritted his teeth like an injured beast. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He would assassinate Lin Xian after he left. The news of Elder Tianshui's punishment spread once again. In an instant, countless people were shocked. At the same time, the young disciples heaved a sigh of relief. If Elder Tianshui wasn't punished, those young elites would be in danger. The older generation could act as they wished. Now, it seemed impossible. The older generation wouldn't act openly. However, they might assassinate secretly. Everyone guessed that Lin Xian wouldn't dare to come out for a period of time. The people from the True Path sect and the Divine Union gritted their teeth when they heard the news. This old thing should be struck to death. Bai Susu said, this was already the best outcome. It was impossible for the sect to kill an elder. However, the sin of burning the heavens and the thunder of destruction would definitely make him suffer. The Crimson Dragon sent the news to the main hall. Lin Xian opened his eyes when he heard it. It wasn't enough to quell his anger. This was the Sky Sect's punishment, not his. He had to deal with his enemy personally. After that, Lin Xian summoned the Crimson Dragon and Fu Hongya. The two of them asked, is your injury healed? Lin Xian said, all right, it's about time. Although his injuries were serious, they weren't fatal. In addition, Lin Xian had a lot of natural treasures in his hands. Furthermore, the spiritual medicine cultivated in the Four Spirit Valley had helped Lin Xian recover very quickly. Kid, what do you plan to do next? Do you want us to go to the Nalen family together and suppress the Fifth Elder? Naturally, I won't let the Fifth Elder's faction off. However, I'll have to do it myself. Lin Wudy was cultivating in seclusion, but Mad God was about to set off. A terrifying demonic aura emerged from Lin Xian's body. He did it himself. The Crimson Dragon asked. It was too dangerous. After all, the fifth patriarch was not someone to be trifled with. What's more, the Nalen family would definitely not sit idly by. Don't worry, I have my own methods. How are the formations and resources that I asked you to prepare? Fu Hongya said. Young martial uncle, we are all ready. He took out many formations. Lin Xian took a look at them and nodded with satisfaction. There were a lot of resources in here. Some of the forces that he was going to use next would consume a lot of resources. Therefore, these were not enough. He said, have you set them up near the Fifth Elder's residence? The Crimson Dragon said, we have already set them up. When they start to defend, we will have already retreated. Good. Then I'll go. Lin Xian stood up and summoned the Void Beast. His figure flashed, and the two of them disappeared from the hall. He left the god's residence, but did not immediately go to the Fifth Elder's residence. Instead, he summoned someone. Greetings, young master. The Six Paths cultivator knelt on one knee with a respectful expression. Very good. Get up. Lin Xian was wearing a black robe. The demonic aura around him was monstrous, as if he had turned into a demonic master. He said to the Six Paths cultivator, come with me to the Nalen family. The two of them turned into two bolts of lightning and disappeared into the night sky. The Nalen family's Fifth Elder's residence. Although it was still a bit oppressive, they were already relieved. Lin Xian was injured by a palm strike. Although he survived, he would not be able to recover in a short time. He would not be able to cause trouble for them again. However, they did not know that Lin Xian was already here. This time, he was not only looking for trouble, but also 100-fold. Above the ninth heaven, Lin Xian stood there like a demon. The Six Paths cultivator beside him was extremely respectful. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian took out the heaven-swallowing jar. He shook it gently, and Nalen Yenran flew out. Her face was extremely pale. How long are you going to suppress me? Lin Xian said. Today, I will let you see with your own eyes that your bloodline will disappear. You. Nalen Yenran was shocked. Then she sneered. I admit that you are powerful, but it is impossible for you to destroy our bloodline. The Nalen family's strength is not something you can fight against. Previously, she had been suppressed in the heaven-swallowing jar. Therefore, she did not know anything about Lin Xian's life-and-death battle. Lin Xian did not argue with her. He sneered and said, you will see soon. He waved his hand and imprisoned Nalen Yenran in the ninth heaven. Then he descended. As he descended, a terrifying, murderous intent emerged from his body. He shouted coldly. His voice was like thunder. It surged downward. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. Below, in the fifth elder's residence. It was very majestic and occupied countless mountains. At this moment, it was attacked by the sound. Inside, the arrays flickered and tried to resist, but they were all shattered in an instant. The arrays were torn apart. The mountains and waterfalls inside were destroyed. The guards inside were also attacked by the sound. Some of them were directly turned into blood mist. All kinds of miserable cries could be heard. It made one's scalp tingle. Everyone in the residence went crazy. Was someone attacking them? Who was so bold? Damn it. Did they want to die? A figure rushed out like a god of war. It was Nayland Quebec. He roared angrily. Who dared to behave atrociously? Not only him, but his brothers had also come out. Even the fifth elder was alarmed by the news. Whoever attacked at this time definitely had a grudge against them. After thinking about it, it could only be Lin Xian. However, did Lin Xian have such strength? How dare he attack his residents directly? What kind of joke was this? After the fifth elder arrived, he looked at the sky, and his pupils constricted. He saw a figure standing in the sky. The demonic chi on his body was monstrous, like a peerless demon god. That aura made his scalp tingle. Could it be the previous demonic expert? Who are you? Why are you attacking my residents? The fifth elder asked coldly. Mad God, a thunderous voice sounded in the sky. The people below were stunned. Who was Mad God? What an arrogant name. However, the fifth elder's pupils constricted. Chapter 48:55. How could he not know of this name? Mad God was too famous. He was currently ranked 1,000 on the Holy Gulf Honor Roll. Moreover, he had risen in a very short period of time. A few years ago, he had not even been on the Holy Gulf Honor Roll, but in a short period of time, he had rushed to the top 3,000. Now, he was already 1,000. Such a person was extremely powerful. He was a legendary figure. It was just that they had never provoked such a terrifying existence. The fifth elder gritted his teeth and asked, So it's Mad God. I've heard a lot about you. When did the Nayland family offend you? Why are you attacking my residents? You're here for Lin Xian. The cold voice sounded again. The fifth elder was stunned. Nayland K. And the others felt their scalps go numb. The other party was here for Lin Xian. Could it be that Mad God and Lin Xian knew each other? And it seemed that he was here to avenge Lin Xian. The people below broke out in cold sweat. The fifth elder was also frightened. He did not expect Lin Xian to have such a backer. He said, I didn't know that Lin Gongzi was related to you. I'll prepare 3 world cores and send them to the True Path sect. Too late. Lin Xian said coldly, You don't need to exist anymore. What did you say? The fifth elder's pupils shrank. Nayland K. And the others were also frightened. Then he shouted angrily, Don't be too arrogant. We respect you because of the Holy Gulf Honor Roll. Although you're powerful, can you really fight against all of us? The Nayland family is also a top family. Not just anyone can step on us. I'm arrogant? You're the one who betrayed us first. Then you wanted to join forces with the Sky Sect elders to kill Lin Xian. Now, I'm only here for revenge. How dare you say I'm arrogant? In the sky, Lin Xian sneered. Then he threw a punch. The black fist was like a falling meteorite as it charged downward. Instantly, countless people from the Nayland family turned into a bloody mist. The other experts retreated. Father, what should we do? Nayland K. asked. The fifth elder gritted his teeth. Damn it, he's going too far. So what if he's Mad God? Let's attack him together? In a one-on-one fight, they might not be a match for him. However, Their lineage was filled with experts. The fifth elder himself was a top-notch expert. In addition, this was their territory. There were many array formations, sacred artifacts, and resources here. Could it be that he was afraid of the other party? Thinking of this, the fifth elder shouted angrily. Nayland also waved his hand and joined forces with the array to attack. Kill. Battle cries shook the heavens. Nayland K and his three brothers arrived in front of Lin Xian in an instant. Some used long swords, sabers, and thunderhammers. Endless rays of nomological light erupted, enveloping Lin Xian. Go to hell, Nayland K sneered. If the four of them attacked together, no one would be able to stop them. Boom. Lin Xian's body exuded a monstrous demonic aura as he executed the 6 path fists. His black fist seemed to have opened the gates of the devil world. It was incomparably vast. In an instant, the divine sword, battle saber, and thunder hammer were all sent flying. Light of the demon god. Lin Xian waved his left hand. Boundless black light turned into a demonic sword and shot out. Boom. Nayland K and the others were forced back, their blood and chi surging. Some were even pierced and injured. Damn it, so strong. Nayland K was horrified. The others also felt their scalps go numb. The fifth elder roared and activated the peerless array. The other surviving Nayland family martial artists also took action. The mountains and rivers below shattered, the earth cracked, and a peerless array formation appeared, shining with a terrifying light. Sky trapping array. This was an extremely powerful array formation. Once activated, it could seal the sky and earth. No one could escape. This time, they wanted to completely trap Mad God to prevent any future trouble. Nayland K and the other 3 charged forward again. The 4 of them joined forces and formed the 4 ultimate sword array. A sword light appeared in each of their hands, enveloping Lin Xian. Lin Xian attacked with the light of the demon god in his left hand and the 6 path fists in his right hand. The battle between the 2 sides was earth-shattering. At the same time, the sky-trapping array kept casting seals, enveloping Lin Xian. Lin Xian was really too powerful at this moment. Mo Chi was monstrous, turning into a terrifying yin-yang image to block the sky-trapping array. Then he punched one of the experts into pieces. The 4 ultimate sword array was broken, and Nayland K and the others quickly retreated. They were shocked. Was this Mad God? He was too powerful. The 4 of them were no match for him even when they joined forces. At the critical moment, the 5th elder made a move. Demon Destruction Palm. He struck out a peerless divine skill, and a huge palm covered the sky and earth as it attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian was forced back. Mad God? You're just SOL. The 5th elder sneered. After comparing just now, he realized that the other party was powerful, but not as powerful as him. Great, let's attack together. Nayland K and the others laughed wildly. Old thing, do you really think you can suppress me? Lin Xian roared to the sky, his black hair dancing wildly. A black spear appeared in his hand. Great destruction. Kill. Lin Xian's attack pierced through heaven and earth, and at this moment, he became the only thing in the world. Boom. A figure screamed. Nayland K roared crazily. He was penetrated by the black spear and nailed in the void. The demonic chi on it terrified him. Damn it, get lost. The 5th elder roared crazily and struck out with the demon destruction saber to attack the great destruction spear. Lin Xian, on the other hand, channeled the power of the great dragon sword soul and integrated it into the great destruction spear. In addition to the great destruction spear, it already had an extremely strong destructive aura. The 2 forces burst out from Nayland K's body. Nayland K's body cracked and turned into a bloody mist. His soul was also destroyed by the aura of the great dragon sword soul. In an instant, is he dead? The other three brothers were horrified when they saw this scene. Nayland K was their eldest brother, and he was considered the strongest, but he was killed in a single blow. Is this mad god so terrifying? The fifth elder's eyes turned red. I must tear you into pieces. He attacked crazily and went up to the 9 heavens. It had to be said that the fifth elder was very powerful. He was far from what Nayland K and the other three could contend with. Even if Lin Xian used the Great Destruction Spear, he could only protect himself and was at a disadvantage. The fifth elder's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Kid, is this all you have? Then you can die. A saber appeared in the fifth elder's hand. It was a great sage weapon, the Demon Slayer saber. He fought with all his strength, slaying a demon with a single blow. Go to hell, you demon. Humph. Have you used your trump cards? Lin Xian's face was cold. In the next moment, he crushed a few arrays in the storage ring. The treasures inside shattered, providing him with great power. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in his hand, shrouded in demonic chi. It seemed to have turned into a demonic sword. Slash. He slashed out with the sword and the Demon Slayer saber. They collided. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. Boom, boom. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The whole world kept shattering, and the mansion below was torn apart. This attack was too powerful. Lin Xian attacked with the great dragon sword soul with all his strength. Above the sky, a figure descended, and Saint Blood fell wildly. Is that kid dead? In the mansion below, the people of the Nayland family were ecstatic. However, when they saw the white-haired figure, they were all stunned. The fifth elder. How is this possible? The fifth elder is seriously injured. Chapter 48:56. The fifth elder was in a very miserable state. The sword pierced through his right shoulder and split his body open. His internal organs were all shattered, and half of his heart was also shattered. In particular, the biting cold aura and terrifying demonic chi on it made his injuries unable to heal completely. This terrified him too much. Father, are you all right? The middle-aged men below roared. The fifth elder's face was extremely pale. He said, I'm severely injured. I'm going to activate the array spirit and fuse with it. Help me hold them off for a while. As he said that, the fifth elder flew towards the ground below. It seemed that he was going to use his ultimate trump card. Above the 9th heaven, Nayland Yenran looked at this scene in disbelief. She was already terrified when her father was killed by a single blow. She felt as if she had lost her soul. Now that she saw her grandfather being severely injured, she was even more terrified. Is that really Lin Xian? Lin Xian actually has such powerful strength. It was ridiculous that they were still thinking about how to deal with him. They were really digging their own graves. Now, she wanted to shout and stop him, but she couldn't do it at all. She was afraid that she would have to watch her family be destroyed with her own eyes. Below, when the 3 middle-aged men heard that, they were also shocked. Then they roared, Everyone listen to my orders. Control the array formation with all your strength and block this kid with me. The fifth elder took out the Demon Slayer saber and launched a shocking attack, but he was still no match for Lin Xian. They could only use their ultimate trump card. However, that trump card would take some time to fuse, and that time could not be disturbed. Therefore, they had to stop Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly and descended. The great spear of destruction tore through the 9th heaven like a black dragon. Many people vomited blood and were sent flying. The entire sky turned into a sea of blood. Countless corpses turned into white bones and fell from the sky. The 3 middle-aged men also vomited blood. He's too powerful. However, the sky trapping formation was indeed terrifying. With the cooperation of many powerhouses, they stopped Lin Xian in his tracks. Lin Xian's face was cold. He snorted coldly. 6 paths. In the sky, another figure descended. The 6 paths fist swept across the surroundings. Many people were sent flying. Damn it. Does this guy still have helpers? They were terrified. Mad God was already so powerful. If another top expert came, they really wouldn't be able to stop him. You are the 6 paths cultivator. Damn it. Why are you helping him? The people of the Nalan family roared crazily. They had contacted the vagrant 6 paths before and had even given him 2 worlds to protect Nalan Yenran. Who would have thought that the other party would run away and follow the mad god to attack the Nalan family? The voice of the 5th elder came from below. 6 paths, do you want to be my enemy? Think about the consequences. My Nalan family will not let you off. 6 paths snorted. He was Lin Xian's battle servant. Why would he care about such things? Lin Xian said, break through their defenses and don't let them affect me. After saying that, he rushed down. Damn it! Stop him! Below! The experts of the Nalan family attacked. However, the vagrant 6 paths was also very powerful. After all, he was ranked 2001 on the honor roll. He was definitely not someone these people could stop. Although he couldn't do anything to the entrapment formation, it was easy for him to help Lin Xian stop the enemy. Without those people restraining him, Lin Xian continued to descend. He stretched out his hand and punched the ground with the 6 paths fist. Below, the formation rolled. The 5th elder spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! In front of him, there was an ancient altar with a purple light on it. What the 5th elder wanted to do was to swallow the purple light into his body and fuse it with the formation. He wanted to control the formation and defeat his opponent. Now that he had just fused with the formation, he was injured. His expression was extremely ugly. Fuse quickly. His laws were burning, and his eyes were bloodshot. The purple light fused with him. However, halfway through, Lin Xian arrived. He struck forward with his palm. In an instant, the 5th elder was sent flying. The 5th elder spat out blood and roared. Damn it, he was so close. However, his strength had also become much stronger than before. Demon-slaying blade. The demon-slaying blade struck out again. Lin Xian used the power of the great dragon sword soul again. Half of the 5th elder's body was shattered, and he screamed crazily. The purple light that he had just fused with was also beaten out. No, you can't kill me either. The 5th elder roared. I'm an elder of the Nalan family. If you kill me, you'll become an enemy of the Nalan family. As he spoke, he secretly cast a spell and began to ask for help from the family. Why are you afraid? Lin Xian sneered. When you attacked the young people before, did you think of this situation? He walked up and slapped the 5th elder to the ground. Half of the 5th elder's face was smashed. Damn it, his eyes were bloodshot. He was so angry that his lungs were about to burst. As a powerhouse of the older generation and a core elder of the Nalan family, when had he ever been suppressed like this? Who dared to hit his face? But now the other party did it. Not only that, Lin Xian stepped on the 5th elder's head mercilessly. Aren't you very powerful? Aren't you being ungrateful? Come on, continue to be arrogant. I'll endure it. The 5th elder gritted his teeth. He had already asked for help from the family. It wouldn't be long before the family's experts arrived. At that time, would the family just sit back and watch? At most, he would plead for mercy from the family and admit his mistake. The family would definitely protect him. No matter how strong the other party was, could he become an enemy of the entire Nalan family? Sure enough, when the 5th elder was fighting here, the Nalan family headquarters knew about it. What was going on? Something happened in the fifth elder's mansion again. Soon, the news spread. The people in the Nayland family headquarters were also surprised. Some elders frowned. This fifth elder was really looking for trouble. What was he doing again? Ignore it. But not long after, they were stunned. They had received the fifth elder's request for help. Not good. There might really be a problem. This time, even the Nayland family's patriarch was alarmed. Follow me. In an instant, dozens of figures flashed past. They were all extremely terrifying great sage elders. In addition, there were even more experts and saints who rushed into the sky. They were going to support the fifth elder. The eighth elder's territory naturally received the news. The fifth elder's mansion was attacked. The fifth elder sent a request for help. Who did it? They were stunned. Then, the eighth elder gasped. Could it be related to Lin Xian? Let's go and take a look. They also moved quickly. In an instant, everyone set off for the fifth elder's mansion. The battle in the fifth elder's mansion was terrifying. The Six Paths was fighting against many experts of the Nayland family. At this moment, his body was also stained with blood. However, he was not afraid at all. Lin Xian only gave him one goal, which was to stop the other party and not hold back. Therefore, there were many experts of the Nayland family who died in the hands of the Six Paths. Those people's eyes were red. However, the Six Paths was indeed very strong. With his strong physique and the Six Paths fist, not many people could compete with him. Now, they could only wait for the fifth elder to merge with the formation spirit. Chapter 48:57. But soon, they fell into despair, because the fifth elder's screams came from the ground. No, those people roared crazily. The fifth elder was being beaten up. Damn it. How could this be? The fifth elder's situation was very miserable. He suffered endless torture, and even his soul was severely injured. Lin Xian didn't kill him, so he wouldn't let him die so easily. He would let him taste what it meant to live a life worse than death. Mad God, are you satisfied? Can you spare my life? The fifth elder roared and begged for mercy. Of course, he didn't really submit. He was waiting for the people of the family to arrive. They should be here soon. He just had to endure for a while. When the people of the family arrived, he would suppress them. He would return the favor 100 times, no, 10,000 times. Lin Xian snorted coldly. It was useless to beg for mercy. He would send him on his way. The great spear of destruction pierced through the fifth elder's heart and nailed him to the ground. The fifth elder felt as if his entire body was about to split apart. His opponent was too terrifying. Every attack was fatal. He was definitely seriously injured by this attack. Even if he didn't die, his combat strength would be greatly reduced. His foundation was severely injured. If he wasn't treated in time, he would be crippled. Was he really going to die in the hands of the other party? Just as the fifth elder was in despair, an angry roar came from the sky. Stop! Who dares to attack the people of the Nayland family? Do you want to die? Numerous voices resounded like a myriad of thunderclaps shaking the world. The fifth elder smiled. He knew that the powerhouses of the family had arrived. When the Nayland family's patriarch arrived with a group of elders, he was dumbfounded. This was the fifth elder's residence. It had long been torn apart. There was an endless sea of blood in the sky, and piles of bones below. This was simply Azura hell. How long had it been? The fifth elder's residence had become like this? Who was it that did it? Patriarch, you're here. 2 middle-aged men flew over, crying. They were the sons of the fifth elder. There were 3 of them before, and one of them was killed by 6 paths. Thus, the remaining 2 people, as well as the surrounding people, were all covered with injuries. Who did it? An elder walked out, his eyes filled with killing intent. He stared at a figure in front of him and frowned. The person in front was covered in blood, and it was impossible to tell who he was. The middle-aged man said it was the Six Paths cultivator. What? Rogue cultivator of Six Paths. The surrounding people were shocked, and their expressions changed greatly. This was an expert on the glory leaderboards. Why would he attack the fifth elder's residence? The leader of the Nayland family frowned. That's not right. Although Six Paths is strong, you might not be able to defeat him in a one-on-one fight. However, this was the power of an entire mansion. It wasn't something that the Six Paths could deal with alone. It wasn't him. He was just a helper. The real attacker was Mad God. He was here to avenge Lin Xian. What? Mad God? Hearing this name, the people of the Nayland family gasped. Even the Nayland clan's patriarch's pupils shrank. This name reverberated like thunder in their ears. This was a newly risen super expert in Holy Abyss, ancient city. How did the other party attack? When they heard the last sentence, they were all stunned. The other party was here to avenge Lin Xian. Lin Xian actually knew Mad God. Damn it, why didn't they know before? This fifth elder was really courting death. The Nayland clan's patriarch was instantly furious. He said, "Where's the fifth elder?" Mad God was attacking him below. "Patriarch, please save my father," the two middle-aged men exclaimed. The Nayland clan's patriarch stretched out his hand and tore open the ground. He just happened to see the scene of Lin Xian attacking. "How dare you?" With a wave of his hand, a shocking purple light turned into a divine light that pierced through heaven and earth. On the ground below, Lin Xian wanted to continue attacking, but he felt that the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. An extremely terrifying force came at him. He turned around and swung the spear of great destruction to block the attack. Boom! He was knocked back, and his arm was numb. What a terrifying force! The experts of the Nayland family had arrived. Lin Xian looked at the sky. There were dozens of figures, and the one in the lead was a middle-aged man. His aura was terrifying, even more terrifying than the fifth elder. Thinking about it, this should be the Nayland clan's patriarch. "You're Mad God?" The Nayland clan's patriarch frowned. The other party's demonic energy was monstrous. It was too terrifying. This Mad God was indeed worthy of his reputation. He was able to resist him head-on and merely retreat. At this moment, Lin Xian had used all his trump cards. He held the spear of great destruction in his hand and had the great sage protecting him. He raised his head and stared at the people above. "You want to stand up for the fifth elder?" "Mad God, the fifth elder was wrong previously. I will make him apologize in public and compensate Lin Xian with 3 world cores. So, you should stop." Lin Xian laughed loudly. "You think I should stop just because you say so? Why didn't you say this before I came? Now that you feel that you can't win, you want to beg for mercy. It's not that simple. Previously, you either kneel down and beg me for 30 world cores, but not now. They have to die to appease my anger." The Nayland clan's patriarch frowned. This person was really arrogant. The surrounding elders were even more furious. This guy dared to be so arrogant. Did he think that the Nayland clan was weak? In the 9 heavens, Nayland Yenran was originally in despair. But when the Nayland clan's patriarch arrived, she regained her hope. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Scram. If you dare to help the fifth elder again, don't blame me for completely destroying your Nayland clan." After saying that, Lin Xian punched out, shattering the fifth elder's body into pieces. The fifth elder screamed. This attack had almost killed him. "You dare?" In the sky, the Nayland clan's patriarch was furious. The other elders also roared. "Brat, you dare to threaten the Nayland clan?" Many people have challenged the Nayland clan, but none of them succeeded. You are no exception. In the sky, dozens of elders pressed down, shattering the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It was too powerful. The 6 paths itinerant cultivator vomited blood and was sent flying. There were even more cracks on his body. Looks like you are determined to fight. Lin Xian's face was cold. His body flashed, and he instantly charged into the 9 heavens. The great spear of destruction was aimed at one of the elders. You are courting death. That person punched out, and the others followed suit. A huge battle broke out instantly. Below, the 5th elder saw this scene and sneered. His soul came out of the scabbard, and it quickly merged with the purple light on the altar. He wanted revenge. He wanted to kill Lin Xian with his own hands. Outside, Lin Xian felt immense pressure. Although he was strong, when dozens of elders attacked together, it was truly terrifying to the extreme. His face was cold. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. Lin Xian let out a roar as the rings of holding in his hand shattered into pieces. The great dragon sword soul was summoned again, and it absorbed endless energy, releasing a terrifying light. Chapter 4858. This aura. The Nalen family leader was terrified. The dozens of elders also felt their scalps go numb. They really didn't expect the other party to be able to unleash such a shocking sword attack. Dodge. They wanted to escape, but it was already too late. This sword attack had absorbed enough energy. When the sword slashed out, heaven and earth split open. Those elders were like kites swaying in the wind, instantly flying out. 5 elders turned into a bloody mist, their souls destroyed by the sword attack. Heaven and earth split open, and a rain of blood fell. Countless elders roared. The Nalen family leader's eyes were red. This sword attack had killed 5 elders. It was too terrifying. Lin Xian's face was also pale. His body swayed, and he spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood. Although there was external energy providing the great dragon sword soul, the pressure on his body was also very great. Only the 9 young divine body could withstand this attack. Otherwise, if it was another great sage, his body would probably be shattered before he could use it. But even so, Lin Xian's body split open. He was injured, but compared to the other party, he laughed. After one attack, 5 elders were shattered, causing the Nalen family members to panic. The family leader's heart was bleeding. Damn it! Stop! The Nalen family leader roared, but the others were angry, especially the remaining elders. Their eyes were red. Damn it! Kill him! Take his treasures and avenge our people. That was a super powerful trump card just now. He definitely couldn't use it a second time. The remaining 20 or so elders rushed over again. Lin Xian's eyes burst with an extremely cold light. He swallowed heavenly treasures in large mouthfuls and circulated the 9 yang divine body to the extreme. At the same time, the immortal indestructible technique in his body quickly circulated. A immortal battle armor covered his body, increasing his vitality. He crushed the remaining array formations, and the energy inside surged out and poured into the great dragon sword soul. Another sword attack. No, the 20 or so elders despaired. With such a super powerful trump card, shouldn't the other party be out of power after using it once? How could he use it a second time? They actually forgot to escape. The sword fell, and another 5 elders' astral souls were destroyed. The remaining dozen or so elders were also seriously injured, and their faces were pale. Stop! Nalen clan's patriarch roared crazily. He rushed over and said, "We won't interfere in this matter anymore." He couldn't continue fighting, even though he saw Lin Xian spitting out blood again and his body splitting apart, as if he was about to split into 2 halves. However, he didn't dare to make another move. Who knew if his opponent would be able to unleash a third strike? Lin Xian's situation was also very bad. The power of the array formation had already disappeared, and he was also under great pressure. The 9 yang divine body was severely injured, but it should have intimidated the Nalen family. In the sky, Nalan Yanran was in despair. Lin Xian had killed 10 core elders with 2 swords. This was simply a heaven-defying move. Even the crown prince probably couldn't do it. What was that thing in his hand? Was it an extreme weapon? Why was he so strong? Nalan Yanran went crazy. She didn't expect that her regret would cause such a serious loss to her family. The Nalan family was completely terrified. They kept retreating, wanting to escape. However, at this moment, the ground below split open as a sinister laughter rang out. "Ha ha ha, kid, die for me. I'll let you know the consequences of living a life worse than death." This voice came from the 5th elder. Purple light surrounded his body as if he had turned into a strange existence. The entire world collapsed as a huge purple array formation appeared around him. It enveloped heaven and earth. A terrifying aura filled the air. Nalan family's patriarch Tongming said that the 5th elder had fused with the array spirit. What was he trying to do? Lin Xian also frowned. He stared ahead as a purple figure floated over. It was a large purple flag with the 5th elder's soul aura on it. The 5th elder's soul had fused with the purple flag and turned into the array spirit, controlling the entire sky trapping array. "Kid, I'll let you know the true power of the sky trapping array." The flag formed by the 5th elder swayed. The sky trapping array completely bloomed and turned into a purple steel. One steel suppressed the 6 paths unaccompanied. At the same time, 3 steels charged toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt an extremely strong sealing power. He threw out the 6 paths fist to resist the steel, but it shattered in an instant. "It's useless. I've completely turned into an array spirit and can no longer be a human. Do you think the power I displayed after paying such a price will be weak? I'll make you despair." The 5th elder's voice was like a demon, echoing between heaven and earth. Lin Xian was surrounded by the 3 steels, and an extremely strong sealing aura appeared on his body. Was he going to be sealed? He shouted coldly. The heaven-swallowing jar appeared and swallowed the heavens and earth, blocking the 3 steels. However, Lin Xian's current situation was very bad. The 5th elder saw that he had injured his physique by using the great dragon sword soul, so he attacked crazily. After the 3 steels, 9 more steels descended from the sky and suppressed everything. In the distance, the Nalan family's patriarch also heaved a sigh of relief. Their eyes were shining. After suppressing this kid, they must obtain the sword in his hand. Too strong. They all suspected that it might be an extreme weapon. Even if it wasn't, it was an extremely terrifying legendary holy weapon. Lin Xian was shrouded by the 12 steels and sealed. The 5th elder laughed. He turned into a large flag and flew forward. He wanted to make the other party suffer a fate worse than death. Lin Xian's eyes bloomed with an extremely cold light. "Old thing, do you really think that you can compete with me by controlling the entire array and turning into an array spirit? Let me show you what the strongest power in the world is. With just you, do you still have the power?" The 5th elder snorted coldly. He could see that Lin Xian was already an arrow at the end of its flight. If he used any more power, his body would be completely shattered. However, Lin Xian's eyes were filled with madness. His trump card was not only that. Previously, he had already let the Crimson Dragon take action. The Crimson Dragon and the others quietly arranged the spirit transferring array in the 5th elder's mansion. Previously, Lin Xian had not used it because the spirit transferring array was extremely terrifying. It would devour all the spirit veins below the mansion and transform them into powerful energy for his use. Lin Xian originally wanted to kill the 5th elder and take over his mansion without destroying the spirit veins, but now it seemed that it was impossible. Since that was the case, he might as well use it. His palms formed a seal, and the spirit transferring array around the mansion emerged from the ground and emitted a bright light. In an instant, the spirit veins in the fifth elder's mansion shook and quickly dried up and shattered. What was going on? The fifth elder was terrified. He realized that the power of his sky-trapping array was weakening. In addition to absorbing the power of heaven and earth, the array was more important for the supreme-grade spirit veins below. But at this moment, was there something wrong with the supreme-grade spirit veins? The spirit-transferring array kept emitting light. At the same time, an array diagram appeared behind Lin Xian. The power of the spirit-transferring array merged into his body through the array behind him. An extremely strong light burst out from Lin Xian's eyes. The great dragon sword soul in his hand let out a loud dragon roar that pierced the 9 heavens. Chapter 48:59. An immortal slaying sword. A cold voice rang out. The dragon sword spirit seemed to come alive as it slashed down mercilessly. The entrapment array shook violently. Countless cracks appeared on it and spread in all directions. No, damn it. How could this power be so terrifying? The fifth elder was terrified. The battle of the entrapment. A peerless attack. That purple flag was swaying nonstop. The fifth elder was also going all out. He ignited all of his power and unleashed the sky-trapping matrix. Millions of sky steels descended, trying to suppress the sword. However, all the divine steels were destroyed by the sword. The heaven-trapping array was torn to pieces, and the purple flag was also cut into 2 halves by the sword. No, inside the flag, the fifth elder's soul was also being torn apart. The pain made him despair. He wanted to escape, but there was no way he could escape under this sword. He was crushed into powder and disappeared without a trace. Boom. At the same time, Lin Xian's body cracked and turned into a bloody mist. The whole world kept collapsing and shattering. The fifth elder's mansion was completely turned into nothingness. The rogue's 6 paths quickly retreated. The divine steels that suppressed him were broken. He was injured all over, but he didn't die. At this moment, his face was full of shock. Was his master dead? He couldn't believe it. On the other side, the Nalen family leader also retreated with a group of elders. The 8th elder was also terrified. Had the mad god died? He was shocked. The mad god was related to Lin Xian, and Lin Xian was related to Nalen Liang. If the mad god died, Lin Xian would have no one to rely on. In this way, Nalen Liang would be in danger. Therefore, he didn't want to die. However, the Nalen family leader laughed loudly. His eyes shone brightly. It was good that Mad God died. After all, Mad God had killed the 5th elder. He was a great enemy of their family. Moreover, he desperately wanted the sword shadow on Mad God's body. Mad God's death was good news for him. From now on, he could sweep the world with his sword. Was he dead? They were all destroyed. They died together. In the sky, Nalen Yanran heaved a sigh of relief. However, it had already been a few times. Now, she was not too sure if the other party would really die. The Nalen clan's clan head walked over with large strides. He waved his hands and tore apart the storm that filled the sky. Some of the spatial cracks that hit him were blocked by his armor. He came to the shattered space in front of him and looked around, trying to find the dragon's sword. However, he discovered that there was none. What's going on? Did the dragon's sword disappear? Find it for me. They had to find it even if they had to dig 3 feet into the ground. The people around him moved quickly. However, at that moment, a voice rang out. "You want to snatch my treasure?" Hearing this voice, everyone stopped. They were terrified. This was the voice of the mad god. The Nalen clan's patriarch's pupils shrank as he quickly retreated. Who was it? Playing tricks? Could it be that you're not dead? This was impossible. His opponent's physique definitely wouldn't have been able to withstand such an attack. He had seen his opponent turn into a blood-mist island with his own eyes. Why did he have to die? Lin Xian's voice rang out. He looked up to the sky and laughed. I am immortal. Between heaven and earth, an extremely terrifying law condensed. The immortality art quickly swept through. The blood mist that filled the sky merged again, turning into a fiend godlike figure that appeared above the 9 heavens. A roar that could break the 9 heavens. You're still alive? The Nalan clan's patriarch retreated, his face pale. The others were also terrified. A trace of hope was restored in the 8th elder's eyes. Great. Nalan Yenran knelt on the ground in horror. He was indeed not dead. If he was not dead, who could kill him? After Lin Xian appeared, demonic qi surrounded his body. He also felt incredulous. Indeed, although he didn't die from the previous attack, he must have been seriously injured. The power of the great dragon sword soul had already exceeded the limits of what his body could withstand. However, when his body split open, he felt a strange power. It was the power of the immortality art. This power allowed his body to reform, and his injuries were healed by half. It was too magical. The dragon sword appeared in Lin Xian's hand again. He stared at the Nalan clan's patriarch like a fiend god. Do you want the sword? The sword qi appeared, piercing through heaven and earth. The Nalan clan's patriarch's pupils shrank. It was this sword that killed 10 core elders and killed the 5th elder with one sword. How could he forget? I think you misunderstood. I was just worried about whether you had died. The Nalan clan's patriarch laughed twice. Since you're still alive, that's great. You killed the 5th elder. Our Nalan clan will not pursue the matter. After saying that, he turned around and was about to leave with his people. Lin Xian sneered. Not pursue the matter? Do you dare to pursue the matter? The 5th elder deserved to die, but you actually brought people to support him. How should you be punished? The Nalan clan's patriarch was also angry. He turned around and shouted coldly, You want to punish me? You think too highly of yourself. I'm the patriarch of the clan, and the 5th elder can't be compared to me. You already spent so much effort to kill the 5th elder, and you want to kill me? Hearing this, a cold aura appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. At the same time, a black vortex appeared behind him. It could swallow heaven and earth. If you were in the Nalan clan's headquarters now, I wouldn't be able to kill you. But you're here now. If I want to kill you, although I will have to pay a price, it may not be impossible. Damn it. The Nalan clan's patriarch's face was pale, and the other elders' pupils shrank. Indeed, there was no core array of the family headquarters here, nor were there many resources and sacred weapons. If they were to fight here, it would be unwise. Let's go. These people rose into the air one after another. However, Lin Xian had already thrown out the swallowing heaven jar. An endless black vortex appeared around him, as if it could swallow everything. You dare to stop me? Although you've recovered and are not dead, you're already seriously injured, and at the end of your rope, you're not qualified to compete with me. The Nalan clan's patriarch roared. He seemed to have seen through Lin Xian's secret. Lin Xian smiled. Yes, I'm seriously injured, and my strength is not as good as before, but if I burn my laws and fight desperately, none of you can block the power of this sword. The worst result would be mutual destruction. But do you want to die? He looked at the 20 or so elders. The elders' faces were ugly. With so many core elders, it was not worth it to die together with the other party. Lin Xian said, You want to live? I'll spare your lives. I won't blame all the elders, but you must join forces to kill this patriarch. Otherwise, I'll send all of you to hell. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. The Nalan clan's patriarch's face became incomparably ugly. The 20 or so elders' faces were also solemn. At this time, an elder asked coldly, "Can we believe you?" Lin Xian said, "I swear in the name of the mad god that I won't kill you." The Nalan clan's patriarch was terrified. He looked at the surrounding elders and said, "Damn it, what do you want to do? You want to make a move on me? Aren't you afraid of being punished by the clan's rules?" Chapter 4860. The surrounding elders all had cold expressions. "Patriarch, this brat is right. If we make a move against him, we'll all perish together. That would be too tragic. So, why don't you die and help us all?" Another person walked out and said, "That's right. As the patriarch, you have to think for the family. If we all die, we will all die. The Nalan family will be finished, so we must live." These people's voices were cold. The Nalan family's patriarch's face became incomparably ugly. He stared at Lin Xian. "Damn it, I'm going to kill you." He knew that he had to get rid of this kid in front of him. Otherwise, he would very likely be killed by his own family. Lin Xian sneered and retreated. He said, "Hurry up and attack. After 3 seconds, I will attack all of you." The other elders' pupils constricted when they heard this. They attacked. With a roar, they charged toward the Nalan family's patriarch. Damn it! The Nalan family's patriarch was instantly sent flying and vomited blood. He gritted his teeth and fled in the direction of the family. He could only survive if he returned to the family. However, since those people had already attacked, it was impossible to let them go back. Otherwise, they would definitely die. So, these people attacked crazily. Although the Nalan family's patriarch was powerful, he was surrounded by more than a dozen elders. He was no match for them at all. After all, he did not have a dragon sword soul like Lin Xian. He did not have an extreme weapon. So, he vomited blood, and his retreating body was broken. "I hate it," he roared to the sky. He did not expect that the patriarch of his family would end up like this. Lin Xian stood in the distance and watched the scene. He sneered. He did not intend to attack the other party. However, the other party did not know what was good for him. At his critical moment, he wanted to kill him and even wanted to snatch his dragon sword soul. Lin Xian could not tolerate it. He could only send the other party to hell. Moreover, he also showed a trace of surprise. More than a dozen elders attacked together, but the 8th elder did not. The 8th elder stood there in shock. He seemed to be completely stunned. The 8th elder was Nalan Liang's grandfather, and he seemed to be in a good mood. It could be nurtured. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Previously, when the Nalan family attacked him, the 8th elder didn't do anything. This showed that the 8th elder was willing to stand on his side. Now that the Nalan family was besieging the patriarch, the other party didn't make a move. This showed that the other party cared about kindness. Therefore, Lin Xian immediately came up with an idea. The battle ahead was incomparably terrifying and intense. The Nalan clan's patriarch used all his strength and even burned his life force to kill 2 elders. The remaining elders went crazy and attacked with all their might. Finally, the Nalan clan's patriarch was completely annihilated. Had the patriarch fallen? The 8th elder and the others were shocked. The rest of the elders were covered in blood and had ferocious expressions. They turned to look at Lin Xian and asked coldly, "Is this enough?" Lin Xian said with a smile, "All right, but I still have a few things to do." "What's going on?" The dozen or so elders at the front frowned. Lin Xian said with a smile, "The Nalan clan's patriarch has been killed by you. The Nalan clan has no leader. I'm afraid it's very bad. Therefore, a new patriarch must be elected immediately. I've decided to let the 8th elder be the patriarch." What? As soon as these words came out, the faces of the dozen or so elders changed drastically. One of them had an extremely ugly expression. He was the great elder. Previously, he was the first to stand up and attack the patriarch. Although he didn't want to die together with Lin Xian, he wanted to use this opportunity to kill the patriarch. Then he would be the strongest and have the highest status. He could smoothly become the new patriarch. It could be said that he could kill many birds with one stone. But he didn't expect that the eighth elder would be the patriarch. His dream was shattered. The great elder's eyes were red. He said coldly, "Who will be the patriarch is our Nalan clan's business. You can't control it. Yes, I can't control it. But I have recorded the previous battle scene with an array. If the scene recorded by this array is spread out, especially to the Nalan clan, do you think you are still qualified to be an elder?" What? As soon as these words came out, the great elder's pupils shrank. The faces of the other dozen or so elders also became incomparably ugly. Damn it, they rushed over in an instant. Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword and said, "Do you want to die? I'll help you." Feeling the terrifying aura from the great dragon sword, these people all stopped. Their faces became incomparably ugly. Damn it, they found that they had jumped into a big hole that was already dug by the other party. Now, they were in a dilemma. They didn't have the courage to fight with Lin Xian, and they didn't dare to spread the scene recorded by the array. Once this happened, they would become the enemies of the Nalan clan. Damn it, the great elder roared crazily. Lin Xian coldly snorted, "I'll give you one last chance. Immediately let the eighth elder be the patriarch. At the same time, I guarantee that your original status will not change. Otherwise, don't blame me for destroying everything. Anyway, the unlucky one is the Nalan clan. I have nothing to lose." Lin Xian sneered. The other elders naturally understood that this mad god had nothing to do with their clan. Even if their Nalan clan was destroyed, they couldn't do anything to the other party. So these people thought about it and finally decided to grit their teeth. "Okay, we agree to let the eighth elder be the patriarch." As soon as these words came out, the great elder was instantly angry, but now no one supported him. He could only unwillingly lower his head. Let the eighth elder be the patriarch first. However, his strength was stronger than the eighth elder. He could secretly cultivate his own strength. One day he would take back the position of the patriarch. And this mad god, he wouldn't let the great elder go. A trace of killing intent appeared in his eyes, but it quickly disappeared. This scene happened in an instant, but how could it be hidden from Lin Xian's eyes? Lin Xian coldly snorted. The great elder better not make a move secretly. Otherwise, he could guarantee that the other party would die miserably. In front, more than a dozen elders came to the eighth elder's side and bowed. The patriarch accidentally fell in the battle. The eighth elder is highly respected and suitable to be the patriarch. We have now decided to let the eighth elder become the new patriarch and accept the patriarch seal. The Nalan clan's patriarch storage ring was taken over, and a purple seal flew out from it. That was the symbol of the patriarch's identity. At this moment, they were going to hand it over to the eighth elder. The eighth elder was completely stunned. To be honest, he was shocked by the previous scene. At the same time, he didn't expect that he would become the patriarch. He looked at Mad God and wanted to say something. Lin Xian said, "Be at ease and be the patriarch. From now on, the Nalan clan is yours. Don't worry about my purpose. I support Lin Xian, and your grandson and Lin Xian are good friends. This is the reason." The eighth elder's body trembled. It turned out that it was because of Lin Xian, and his grandson did have an unusual relationship with Lin Xian. He didn't expect that today's scene would be because of his grandson. Thinking of this, he took a deep breath. Chapter 4861. The eighth elder's eyes were filled with determination. He had already made up his mind and accepted the patriarch's seal. As one of the core elders, he was also a great sage. Previously, he had been suppressed by the fifth elder and had been unable to achieve his goals. Therefore, he didn't bother with the family's affairs. Now that the fifth elder and the patriarch had both died, he could use this opportunity to revive the Nayland family. Since you all think highly of me, I won't decline. A domineering aura emerged from the eighth elder's body. The surrounding elders were stunned, and even the first elder's pupils shrank. This eighth elder had hidden his strength well. Previously, he had never taken the eighth elder seriously. The biggest threat to him was the fifth elder because the fifth elder's granddaughter was the number one genius in the family. She was very likely to take over as the patriarch in the future. But now, the fifth elder had died long ago, and the eighth elder was showing a domineering aura. This was something that had never happened before. After the eighth elder took over, he quickly entered the role of the patriarch. He said in a deep voice, "The cause of this battle was the fifth elder's betrayal. No one else could be blamed. From today onwards, no one in the Nayland family was allowed to seek revenge on Mad God. Moreover, he had to fulfill his promise to Lin Xian. When he returned to the family, he would immediately collect 3 world cores and give them to Lin Xian. He would also give 2 more as compensation." The pupils of the surrounding elders shrank. 5 world cores were given away just like that. However, they didn't dare to object. It was because they didn't give the world cores that the current situation happened. If they dared to refuse, there was no need for the Nayland family to exist. Therefore, everyone nodded in agreement. The 8th elder looked at Lin Xian and said, "Fellow Taoist Mad God, in fact, there was a misunderstanding between us. From now on, the grudges between us are written off. Our family admires fellow Taoist Mad God's strength very much and wants to become friends with you. What do you think?" Lin Xian smiled after hearing this. This 8th elder was indeed very smart. He was very satisfied with all the decisions the 8th elder had made. Therefore, he nodded and said, "Yes." Then he looked at the dozen or so elders and said coldly, "I don't want the 8th elder to be in any danger. If he died, there was no need for the Nayland family to exist. Don't even think about making a move in secret. Once I discover it, I will immediately transmit the scene recorded by the formation in my hand. With the crime of murdering the clan leader, I'm afraid there will be no place for you in this world. You'd better behave yourselves." After Lin Xian warned, he turned around and soared into the sky. The 6 paths cultivator followed. Everyone looked up at the sky in horror. They knew that from now on, the Nayland family would have to respect the other party. Above the 9th heaven, Nayland Yenran was completely stunned. It was as if she had lost her soul. Lin Xian walked over and cleaved his opponent apart with a single slash, destroying his body and soul. After that, his figure disappeared between heaven and earth. The next day, at dawn, the news spread. The entire Holy Abyss city was shocked. Countless people went crazy. The Nayland family actually underwent such a transformation. It was too inconceivable. Go and investigate. The 3 great orthodoxies, the clan of the ancients, and the great sects all went to investigate. After all, the Nayland family was also a top-notch family. It was impossible for them not to pay attention. Soon, the news came. Report! With the death of the 5th elder, the lineage of the Nayland clan's 5th elder was completely exterminated. What? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Report! In the ruins of the 5th elder's residence, the body of the Nayland family's number 1 prodigy, Nayland Yenran, was found. Everyone was shocked again. It seemed that the 5th elder's lineage was completely doomed. The Nayland family's patriarch had died in an accident, and the 8th elder had taken over as the new patriarch. Another piece of news came, shocking everyone. The death of the 5th elder's lineage was already shocking enough. However, he was only an elder after all. When the Nayland family's patriarch died, everyone was stunned. The patriarch of a family had a terrifying status. He was an existence that could shake the entire ancient city with a stomp of his foot. But now, he was dead. Who did it? They all went to investigate. Soon, they received news that Mad God had killed the fifth elder and his lineage. Mad God. When the experts heard this name, they were first stunned, then their eyelids twitched. The other party had actually made a move. How could they not know about Mad God? He was now ranked 1,000 on the glory leaderboard, but he was extremely mysterious. They had searched countless times but could not find him. They did not expect him to make a move here. Why did he make a move? Soon, they found out that it was to avenge Lin Xian. In an instant, the names of Lin Wudi and Mad God spread throughout the ancient city. They all guessed what the relationship between the two was. Could it be that they were master and disciple? Was the Nalen family's patriarch also killed by Mad God? They were too shocked. As the patriarch of a family, how powerful was he? This Mad God was simply too terrifying. However, the news they found was not so. Some people said that according to the news from the Nalen family, the Nalen family's patriarch had died in an accident. The fifth elder wanted to die together with Mad God, but Mad God dodged. The Nalen family's patriarch did not, and was destroyed in body and soul with the fifth elder. Hearing this news, everyone was stunned. It was not Mad God who killed him. It was an accident. They were stunned. This news was naturally spread by the eighth elder. After all, killing the fifth elder was ungrateful, but killing the patriarch was an enemy of the entire family. The eighth elder naturally did not want the Nalen family to become enemies with Mad God, so he released this news. In an instant, the world was in an uproar. Countless people were talking about it, and the Nalen family was also in an uproar. The Nalen family's patriarch was dead, and the patriarch had changed. It was the eighth elder, Nalanda. The patriarch's people were definitely against it, especially the patriarch's son. Why should the eighth elder be the patriarch? He should be the one who killed the patriarch. When he spread this news, hundreds of people responded. However, none of the core elders supported him, especially the great elder and a dozen other core elders. They stood firmly on Nalanda's side. This made the patriarch's people dumbfounded. Even if they did not support them, the great elder would immediately jump out. However, no one jumped out to oppose it. What was going on? Damn it, what had happened last night? They were eager to know. However, the core elders did not say a word. Just like that, under the insistence of a dozen powerful elders, Nalanda became the new patriarch and led the Nalen family. The Path sect. There was also a burst of exclamations, especially those from the Divine Union. They were so excited that they wanted to fly into the sky. Mad God was a powerful existence on the Holy Gulf list. He was actually related to Lin Xian. This was equivalent to having a powerful backer, who would dare to look down on them in the future, who would dare to make a move against them. At the thought of this, they were extremely happy. Nalen Liang was even more stunned. His grandfather had changed from a core elder to the patriarch overnight. He had become the grandson of the patriarch. This change in status was too shocking. Chapter 4862. Of course, Nalen Liang knew that this was all because of Lin Xian. He also knew that Lin Xian was the Mad God. Therefore, he hurried over to Lin Xian's side and said, "Boss Lin Xian, the Nalen family swears to follow you till death." The other members of the Divine Union were even more determined, now that they were confident. So, what if it was the Dragon Palace? They dared to fight for it. When the Levitation Saint heard the news, he was also very surprised. He had not expected the legendary Mad God to come. On the other side, the Sky Sect was also shocked, especially the people from the Tianshui Pavilion. One should know that Elder Tianshui had hit Lin Xian with a palm strike before. At that time, They had thought that Lin Xian did not have any background, and that the palm strike had been for nothing. Now, it seemed that this was not the case. Not only did Lin Xian have the levitation saint, but he also had the mad god behind him. The levitation saint was an elder of the Tao sect and could not easily make a move. However, the mad god did not have any restrictions. He had dared to destroy the fifth elder's faction. It was very likely that he would also make a move on Elder Tianshui. Fortunately, Elder Tianshui was punished and could not leave the sect for 50 years. The people from the Tianshui pavilion heaved a sigh of relief. No matter how powerful the mad god was, he would not dare to behave atrociously in the Sky sect. The people from the Sacred Abyss Tower were also surprised when they heard the news. A few divine generals' eyes lit up. The mad god had finally made his move. Send someone to investigate quickly. We have to find out who he is. Looks like we have enough manpower. If we add the mad god, we might be able to compete for the next position. Another divine general nodded. That's right. They had been wondering who the last candidate would be. The mad god's appearance was too timely. It seemed like these divine generals were also looking for the mad god. In an instant, this name had spread throughout the ancient city. On the other side, Lin Xian went into seclusion after returning to his spiritual abode. He had also been severely injured previously. After all, the power of the great dragon sword soul was too terrifying. The power he had used had exceeded his limits. Fortunately, he had cultivated the immortality art and did not hurt his foundation. However, he still had to recover quickly. After entering the sword world, Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the Four-Spirit Valley and swallowed the spirit herbs he had grown. He replied very quickly. Then he tidied up the spoils of war. He took the storage rings, the remaining resources, and the properties of the fifth elder's branch. He picked out the suitable spiritual herbs and planted them in the Four-Spirit Valley. At the same time, he was still waiting for the arrival of the 5 realm cores. This time, the speed was extremely fast. Not long after, Nalan Liang arrived and brought back 5 realm cores. These 5 world cores were personally selected by Nalanda. They weren't far from the buried Emperor's star. Moreover, the distance between the 5 of them was also very close. This saved Lin Xian a lot of trouble. Let's go and collect them. These 5 world cores, in addition to the one he had obtained from the 6 Daos itinerant cultivator, if he swallowed all 6 realm cores and brought them into the mysterious world, what would happen? Lin Xian was looking forward to it. He boarded the Black Earth and left the Tao sect, heading into the universe. He knew that he had to cultivate with all his might. Although he was very strong now, he didn't dare to underestimate anyone in the world, especially the Dragon Prince. As the Emperor's son, the Dragon Prince probably had more worlds in his hands than him. For example, Lin Xian had been to the core area of the Tao sect once. He felt that the core area was formed by the fusion of many worlds. The power inside was definitely not something that a young disciple could imagine. If the Tao sect was already so terrifying, the Emperor race would definitely be even more terrifying. Moreover, the Dragon Prince cultivated the Emperor's ancient scripture. He might even be able to use extreme weapons. Therefore, to him, the Dragon Prince was a peerless enemy. Out of the 6 realm cores, 2 of them were planets with living beings on them. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't collect them. As for the other 4, he used the heaven-devouring jar to swallow them. Then, the heaven-devouring jar entered the mysterious world and was refined into a planet. 4 more planets appeared in the sky, all of them revolving around the Four-Spirit Valley. This caused the aura of the Four-Spirit Valley to change instantly. The ground there quickly recovered and released a mysterious power. The spiritual herbs in the Four-Spirit Valley grew crazily. The leaves on the ground surrounded the great Tao, causing the 4 spirit beasts to be stunned. What happened to the heavens? They were dumbfounded. When they looked up and saw the 4 planets shining in the sky, their mouths opened wide. This kid had obtained another 4 worlds and refined them into stars. Was he really going to evolve this world into a universe? The spirit dragon said that he was still far from it. How many planets were there in the universe? However, this kid was able to obtain 4 in such a short time. It was really shocking. The 4 spirit beasts also felt that something was different now. Their strength was also recovering, although it wasn't at its peak. However, this mysterious power shocked and made them ecstatic. Now, even if Lin Xian chased them away, the 4 of them wouldn't leave. Lin Xian naturally felt the changes in the 4 Spirit Valley. The corners of his mouth curled up when he took out a spiritual herb from the 4 Spirit Valley and ate it. The injuries he had suffered in the past were all healed. Lin Xian was shocked. According to his estimation, it would take another 2 months for him to fully recover from his injuries. But now, everything was as good as new. He had recovered to his peak. It was too magical. From the looks of it, his train of thought was right. As for the other 2 star worlds, Lin Xian also went there. He had fused with the world core and became the ruler of the 2 worlds. He could use the power of these 2 worlds. He found 2 top-grade mineral veins inside. They emitted a terrifying aura, and then moved to the Sword World, placing them around the 4 Spirit Valley. 2 top-grade mines, 1 red and 1 purple. After entering, their powers were quickly absorbed. However, they did not disappear like the 4 spirit veins. Instead, they stabilized after reaching a certain extent. Following that, their bodies also released a mysterious aura. It seemed like they had obtained a trace of the mysterious world's power. He wondered what the 2 mineral veins would evolve into in the future. Lin Xian walked out of the Sword World and walked into the forest. This world was called Lightning Star and contained an extremely strong lightning aura. The strongest person in this world had only cultivated to the Saint Realm. Lin Xian was like a god, feeling his world. It was as if he had become one with the entire star. It was a wonderful feeling. Boom. At this time, the sky suddenly darkened. Then, the entire world was filled with cracks, as if it was about to be destroyed. The demon beasts and humans in the lightning star were terrified. They crawled on the ground, unable to resist at all. A few saints rushed out and shouted angrily, "Who is it?" Boom. In an instant, they were beaten into a bloody mist. Chapter 4863. Lin Xian stood on top of the mountain peak, looking at the sky and the scene of destruction. His brows were tightly knitted together. He had just become the ruler of the lightning star, and such a situation had already happened? Who dared to attack his world? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. His figure flashed, and he flew out of the universe. When he came out of the starry sky, he saw a huge monster. It was extremely terrifying and seemed to be attacking the lightning star. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. At this time, another figure appeared beside him. It was an old man with a little girl. His face was filled with fear. When he saw Lin Xian, he exclaimed, "Young master, leave quickly." This sacred spirit was extremely terrifying. It would be too late if they didn't leave now. Lin Xian glanced at the other party and realized that the old man was only a saint, and the little girl was a supremacy. Lin Xian was shocked. He said that you were a saint of the lightning star. The old man nodded. That's right. Leave quickly. He could see that Lin Xian was definitely a saint since he could come to the outer realm. Therefore, he hurriedly advised him. The little girl said with her eyes wide open, "Big brother, leave quickly. This sacred spirit is extremely terrifying. Even my grandpa can't defeat it." Lin Xian smiled and said, No need. From now on, no one can threaten the lightning star, not even the sacred spirit. Young master, I know that you might be a top genius from a great world. However, the origin of the sacred spirit is extremely terrifying. This was a very small sacred spirit with a shallow cultivation. Even so, it wasn't something that the people of the lightning star could fight against. He wanted to persuade Lin Xian again, but Lin Xian had already walked forward. This sacred spirit was extremely huge. It couldn't be seen clearly at all. One could only see the tip of the iceberg. However, it was extremely terrifying. With a single claw, it caused the lightning star and the world to shatter. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Scram! With a cold shout, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The sacred spirit's huge claw split open. Roar! A crazy roar sounded, and the starry sky in the outer realm turned upside down. Above the 9 heavens, 2 red eyes shone down. The old man behind instantly felt his entire body turn cold. He had no way to escape. The other party could kill him with a single glance. Not good. Have I been targeted? It's over. I'm afraid I'm going to die here. The old man regretted not escaping in time. Lin Xian, who was in front of him, was still not afraid. What? You're not going to scram? Then go to hell. 6 Dao Fist. Originally, the starry sky had darkened, but Lin Xian's fist was like a golden sun that illuminated everything, causing light to appear once more. The Holy Spirit roared angrily, and a terrifying energy shot out from its eyes as it descended. After the attack, his huge body was sent flying, and the outer space shattered. Were they repelled? Behind them, the purple thunder saint was dumbfounded. The little girl's eyes were also filled with stars. This big brother is too amazing. Grandpa, what level has he reached? The little girl asked. The purple lightning saint laughed bitterly. I don't know either. I'm afraid it's a realm far beyond my imagination. Lightning star. Countless creatures were prostrating on the ground. They felt that the end of the world had arrived. The black claw was like a god of destruction, sweeping in all directions. Mountains and rivers were shattered, and no one could compare. Even the escaping saints were smashed into pieces. On the lightning star, a sage was a supreme existence. If even such a person could not resist, then there was no need to talk about other people. But suddenly, they realized that the black claw had shattered, turning into a bloody mist. Not only that, even the darkening sky was illuminated. Then, the terrifying aura retreated like seawater. What's going on? Did the world-destroying demonic beast leave? Who did it? They could not imagine. They knelt on the ground and prayed. Roar. Outer verse. The Holy Spirit's huge body was sent flying, tearing the void apart. It stood up, roared at the sky, and charged toward Lin Xian. A sword light appeared in Lin Xian's hand, and he waved it forward. The entire universe seemed to have been split in half, and the endless star fields were shattered. The Holy Spirit's huge body was torn apart. It was severely injured. It roared and turned to escape. Was the Holy Spirit defeated? The purple thunder saint was dumbfounded. The little girl was even more shocked. This scene was like a myth. Lin Xian snorted. Trying to escape? He chased after it. Another 6-path fist. A large amount of blood rain fell, and the Holy Spirit's huge body was shattered. Lin Xian chased it all the way to the depths of the starry sky. Finally, he stopped and shouted, "Don't let me see you again, or I'll destroy your soul." A trace of fear appeared in the Holy Spirit's eyes. It did not expect that a human could injure it. It was too terrifying. It would never dare to come to this starfield again. In the starry sky above the lightning star, the purple thunder saint was still stunned. At this moment, he realized that the mysterious young man had returned. How is the young master? The purple thunder saint asked carefully. Lin Xian said that the Holy Spirit ran away and was severely injured. It probably would not dare to come back again. The purple thunder saint sucked in a breath of cold air. The young master was kind enough to save the lightning star. As he spoke, he was about to bow. However, Lin Xian stopped him. "Don't thank me, because this world is mine. I won't let others destroy it." "Yours?" The purple thunder saint was stunned. That shouldn't be. Wasn't the lightning star's world core taken by the Nalen family? As a saint, he was well aware of this. However, Lin Xian said that from now on, he was the ruler of this world. "Let's go." He waved his hand and descended. The purple thunder saint was shocked and followed with his granddaughter. In the world below, countless living beings stood up and cheered. Great, the destructive aura was gone. They did not know who did it. Soon, they saw two figures in the sky. One of them was an unfamiliar man, while the other was a terrifying saint. His body was surrounded by terrifying lightning. Someone exclaimed. It was the purple thunder saint. Could it be that he defeated the world-destroying demonic beast? As soon as this was said, countless people exclaimed, "Many thanks to the purple thunder saint for helping." They were too grateful. At the same time, a few other figures appeared in another direction. They were also saints, but they were incomparably shocked. The purple thunder saint was about the same as them. Could he defeat the world-destroying demonic beast? They were not sure. The purple thunder saint smiled bitterly and looked at the people below. "You are wrong. It was not me who defeated the world-destroying demonic beast. It was this young master." He pointed at Lin Xian and said. The countless living beings below were stunned as they stared at Lin Xian. Who was this person? He was so young. He was just a young man. How could he be so powerful? Could it be that his strength was even more terrifying than the purple thunder saints? Heavens, what kind of realm was that? They were dumbfounded. In their eyes, saints were already godlike existences. They could not imagine someone more powerful than saints. Chapter 4864. Even the other sages furrowed their brows tightly. Was this young man very powerful? They looked over and suddenly realized that they couldn't see the other party's true strength. This shocked them. Lin Xian looked around. He took a step forward and said, "I'm the mad god. From now on, I'm the ruler of the lightning star, your god." Lin Xian's voice resounded in all directions. The creatures below were stunned. The other party was the ruler of this world. The other party was a god. This news was too shocking. The pupils of the other sages shrank. Once they reached the level of sages, they would know that the world core of this world was obtained by the Nalen family. And the Nalen family was a top family in an even more terrifying great world. They could casually send someone here to wipe them out. Now that this person had appeared, could it be that he was also from the Nalen family? Was he the young master of the Nalen family? Several people walked up. Lin Xian glanced at them and said, "No, the Nalen family respects me." The sages were shocked and couldn't believe it. The Nalen family had to bow to him? Then where did this person come from? They were shocked, but then they all bowed and paid their respects to the mad god. The old man with purple lightning also hurriedly bowed. The little girl beside him was stunned. This young man was actually a god. Seeing the lightning star, the most powerful sages all submitted. The creatures below also knelt down. Lin Xian said, "From now on, you don't have to worry about the lightning star being attacked. If the world-destroying demonic beast comes to inform me again, I'll destroy its soul." After saying this, Lin Xian took a step forward. The aura on his body erupted, as if he had turned into a sun war god. The surrounding sages were facing a great enemy. It was as if a single glance from the other party could tear their bodies apart. It was too terrifying. What kind of realm was this? Lin Xian waved his hand, and a drop of blood fell from his fingertip. It formed a dragon's shadow below, occupying the ground. If the world-destroying demonic beast attacked, inform this dragon shadow, and I'll appear instantly. The dragon shadow roared toward the sky, emitting a terrifying aura. From now on, this place would become the land of gods. As the countless living beings dispersed, Lin Xian looked at the purple thunder saint and the others. Then he said, I'll create a few array formations for you guys. Firstly, it can be used for defense. Secondly, it can gather spirit veins for you to cultivate. Thank you, Mad God. These saints are extremely grateful. Lin Xian smiled and began to set up the array formation. This was originally his world. The stronger the people in this world were, the more benefits he would receive. Naturally, he had to make some arrangements. Soon, one formation after another appeared, the purple thunder saint, and the others were stupefied. Such an array could be said to be heaven-defying. It was enough for them to comprehend for a lifetime. After finishing his preparations, Lin Xian left the lightning star and went to the last star world, where he also dripped a drop of 10,000 dragons' divine blood. Then he set up a formation before returning. Riding on the black earth, they flew through the cold universe. Lin Xian sent out a clone to guard them, and then his main body entered the sword world. At this moment, under the power of the 5 stars, the sword world, where the 4 Spirit Valley was located, had completely changed. The spiritual energy here was abundant, and the power of heaven and earth was extremely terrifying. The 4 spirit beasts were all stunned. Heavens, I've stayed on the medicine star for thousands of years, but I've never seen such a terrifying aura. Even Lin Xian was surprised. After all, he had been to many places. He had even been to the core of the Tao sect. He realized that the aura in the 4 Spirit Valley was not weaker than the territory of the Levitation Saint. And this was only the recovery of a single valley and 5 stars. If this world was completely restored, the Tao sect would not be able to compare to it. Lin Xian was looking forward to this day. From the looks of it, he would be able to cultivate in the Valley of the Sword World in the future. His speed would definitely be much faster than outside. Half a month later, Lin Xian returned to the God Palace. The injuries he had suffered previously had completely healed, and he was even stronger now. After Lin Xian returned, he took a look at the situation in the Divine Union. He realized that the development was going very well. Ever since Lin Wudi's and Mad God's names had spread, many people had come because of their fame. On the contrary, the Dragon Palace had become much more low-key. Most of them had entered seclusion and would not come out for a short period of time. Bai Susu and the others also knew that it was not that the Dragon Palace was afraid, but that the Tao sect's grand meeting was about to begin. The elites of the Dragon Palace wanted to shine brightly at the meeting. Bai Susu was also nervously preparing. During this period, she had been in the Levitation Saint's residence and rarely appeared in the God Palace. Lin Xian did not feel any pressure. After all, he had only been here for a few years, so he did not care about the Tao's sacred meeting. The Crimson Dragon and the others naturally did not care. Their goal was to strengthen the Divine Union as much as possible. At this moment, the dark red creature, the toad, was already a famous expert on the Jade board. Actually, given their strength, they could definitely enter the Xian board. However, they did not do so. Even the Dragon Prince did not enter the Xian board. This was because the top few on the Jade board were treated very well, so there was no need to rush to enter the Xian board. On top of that, Lin Xian also made a few new friends, the North Demon and Wu Hua. These were all old friends. Needless to say, the North Demon was Black Mountain's disciple and had been training all these years. Previously, He had even joined forces with Lin Xian in the second astral boundary. Wu Hua was a friend from the quintessential world. Back then, he had also been a top expert. However, after Lin Xian had left, they rarely saw each other. Unexpectedly, the other party had also come. The two of them had come after hearing about the miraculous, wholly distant ancient city. After arriving, they had not thought of joining the Tao sect. However, they had only come after hearing about Lin Wudi's reputation. They felt that it was very likely that he was Lin Xian. Now that they had seen him, it was indeed so. Lin Xian had said, "Come to the divine union. I need you guys." The North Demon nodded. "This time, I came on the orders of my master. He asked me to come and help you." Wu Hua also smiled. "When the next Tao sect assessment is held, I will enter." Naturally, Lin Xian was happy to meet an old friend. He brought over some good wine and prepared to have a good drink. At the same time, he asked Lu Yuan to go to the Sky sect and invite Yi Wudao over. This was also an old friend. When Yi Wudao arrived, the power on his body was even more terrifying and unfathomable. This surprised Lin Xian, as expected of the sacred body of the ancients. Furthermore, he had cultivated the Heavenly Emperor scripture. His cultivation speed was actually not any slower than Yi Wudao's. It seemed like he had a lot of resources in his hands. Yi Wudao was even more surprised when he saw Lin Xian. "Brother Lin, you are really surprising. I cultivated the Heavenly Emperor's ancient scripture. With the full support of my family, I obtained a lot of realm cores. That's why I could have such a cultivation speed. However, you don't have the support of your family. Relying on your own strength, you are actually not any slower than me. This is really hard to imagine." Chapter 48-65. The few of them drank and chatted for 3 days before returning to their respective places. Lin Xian entered the sword world again and adjusted his physique to its peak. When he walked out, there was a terrifying, murderous intent on his body. Elder Tianshui. It was time to settle the grudge. Lin Xian rose into the air and flew towards the Sky sect. Previously, he had fought Yi Chen to the death and killed the other party. In the end, Elder Tianshui was enraged and slapped him. Lin Xian was injured back then and swore that he would use the other party's head to pay for the slap back then. Today, he was going to fulfill his promise. Lin Xian used the Void Beast and teleported. No one knew that he had left, and no one knew that a storm would sweep through again. Sky sect. Many people were spreading the legend of Lin Wudi and Mad God, especially the people of Tianshui Pavilion, who had already received the order. Don't go out to accept any missions for the time being. Just cultivate in seclusion. Wait until the limelight is over. On this day, a figure appeared outside the Sky sect. It was pitch black like a demon. With a roar, the surrounding mountains collapsed and shattered. Who was it? The guarding disciple of the Sky sect instantly rose into the air and shouted coldly, "It was me, Mad God." "What? You're Mad God?" The guarding disciple's pupils constricted. They had been hearing this name every day for the past few days. They didn't expect the other party to come. Could it be that the other party was here for Elder Tianshui? "Why are you here?" One of the disciples asked coldly. "To avenge Lin Xian. To fight to the death with Elder Tianshui." Those disciples felt their scalps go numb. The other party was really here for revenge. This matter was too big, and they couldn't make up their minds. Therefore, someone turned around and went in to report. The other said, "Wait outside first." Lin Xian smiled. "I've been waiting for a long time. I can't wait any longer." He took a step forward and disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already in front of them. Not good. They quickly retreated in fear. However, Lin Xian had no intention of attacking them. These guarding disciples were not worthy of his attack. The guarding disciple activated the array formation. The array formation in front of him flickered. However, he could not stop Lin Xian. Lin Xian's speed was too fast. The Void Beast's spatial tunnel, coupled with the Skywalk steps, allowed him to enter the Sky Sect's mountain gate by the time the array formation lit up. Oh no, I'm a step too late. Hurry up and report this. The disciples' expression changed. What was this guy trying to do? They did not dare to imagine. After all, according to the legends, he was a godlike existence. After entering, Lin Xian stepped in all directions and shouted coldly, whereas Elder Tianshui, get over here and accept your death. His voice was like thunder, causing everyone's blood to roil. Countless people were horrified. Who was this? How dare you come to the Sky Sect and behave atrociously? The Heaven Sect disciples were stunned. They were one of the three great orthodoxies. Even the remote antiquity clans and great sects wouldn't dare to behave atrociously in front of them. But now someone had actually done so. Just as they were puzzled, the disciples guarding the mountain rushed over and said, "Not good. Get out of the way. He's Mad God." What? He was the Mad God. Was he really here? The surrounding people quickly retreated in fear. At the same time, they sized him up carefully. This was a legendary figure. The people of Tianshui Pavilion were naturally alarmed. They rushed over with pale faces. Someone gritted his teeth and said, "Don't be too arrogant, Mad God. This is the Sky Sect. If you dare to attack us, the elders won't let you off." Elder Zhang of the Sky Sect was extremely terrifying. Not to mention, there were patriarchs as well. No matter how powerful Mad God was, he wouldn't be able to withstand a finger from Rat. Not long after, an elder flew over. He stood on the clouds and looked down. "Mad God, are you here to behave atrociously?" An extremely terrifying aura was emitted from this person. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The late stage of the Supreme Saint. This person's aura was similar to that of the Levitation Saint. He was a peerless expert. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. He said that he was only here to look for Elder Tianshui and issue him a challenge to a life-and-death battle. Was this guy really going to attack Elder Tianshui? The surrounding disciples exclaimed. The elders in front also frowned. Junior brother Tianshui was currently being punished. He had already been punished for his wrongdoings. Wasn't that enough? No. Lin Xian shook his head. He waved his hand and took out a black invitation card. He threw it into the void. The invitation card shone brightly. "This is a challenge. I want to fight to the death with him. What if he rejects?" The elders frowned. "Reject? You don't dare, right? If you don't dare, then kneel before Lin Xian and kowtow as an apology. I can spare your life." Damn it, he's too arrogant. The people of Tianshui Pavilion roared. Even the elders in front darkened their faces. "Don't you think that you've gone overboard? Are you kidding me?" Tianshui was their elder. If he kowtowed as an apology, wouldn't it be a slap to the Sky Sect's face? Overboard? Lin Xian sneered. Back then, when Tianshui struck out with his peerless palm, did you ever think that you've gone overboard? If Lin Xian had been beaten to death, would you have killed Elder Tianshui? You're only thinking from the perspective of the Sky Sect. Have you ever thought about Lin Xian's perspective? Do you think that Lin Xian has no background and no backing? Do you think that you can bully him as you wish? I'm here today to tell you that you can't. Fight. Kneel. Choose. Lin Xian's voice was firm and sonorous. His forcefulness shocked the people of the Sky Sect. Even the elders in front had a dark expression. To be honest, no one had ever dared to challenge the Sky Sect. Even the Levitation Saint was very courteous when he arrived. But now, this Mad God was pointing at his nose and asking him to choose. He didn't want to choose either of the two options. Mad God, do you know where you are? Do you believe that I can suppress you right now? You're dreaming if you want to challenge the entire sky sect alone. So, I advise you to leave obediently. I'll spare your life. The elder in front had a sharp voice. Lin Xian laughed when he heard this. What? Are you going to bully me again? The sky sect is powerful. But so what? Lin Xian waved his hand and took out a token. This is the honor token. I'm now ranked 1,000 on the Holy Gulf honor list. You should know the power I can use. The token in his hand bloomed with endless light. Lin Xian transmitted his voice into it. Summon the Divine General. Not good. The elder's expression changed. He wanted to stop it, but it was too late. Moreover, he couldn't stop it at all. A spatial door formed on the token. In the next moment, a figure walked out. The person was wearing armor and looked mighty. His face was covered, and only a pair of eyes could be seen, emitting a blue light. The armor on his body also had the illusion of the sea. After it appeared, it suppressed all directions. Feeling this aura, everyone's expression changed, especially the elder. Chapter 4866. How terrifying! Was this a divine general of the Sacred Abyss Tower? The disciples of the Sky Sect felt their scalps go numb. At the same time, more and more masters were gathering here, including the masters on the Celestial Sect's profound ranking. There were also other terrifying young geniuses, including Leaf Daudenier. Leaf Daudenier's eyes glittered, and his face filled with shock. To be honest, he was very suspicious of Mad God's identity. If it was the person he guessed it to be, then it would be too surprising. Leaf Daudenier narrowed his eyes. Interesting. Let's see how far you can go. Up ahead, Elder Yuan took a deep breath and cupped his hands. Greetings, Divine General Hai Yuan. Divine General Hai Yuan nodded. Then he blocked Mad God with a look of surprise in his eyes. The next moment he smiled. They were looking for Mad God, but they didn't expect him to be summoned here. Mad God, what's the matter? Lin Xian said, Greetings, Senior Divine General. Today, I am here to issue a challenge. He wanted to fight Tian Shui to the death. The Tianzong threatened my life. Divine General, please protect me. But Divine General Ocean Abyss nodded. Mad God had reached the top 1,000 of the honor roll in just 3 moves. He had a bright future ahead of him. Furthermore, they needed Mad God to do something for them. Therefore, he would definitely protect Mad God. Seeing that the other party had agreed, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Sure enough, his guess was right. The identity on the Glory Fort was really useful. With nothing to worry about, Lin Xian looked at Elder Yuan in front of him. Of the 2 choices I mentioned earlier, you can choose one. Damn it! Elder Yuan clenched his teeth so hard that they broke. The faces of the people from Tianshui Pavilion also turned pale. Could it be that Elder Tianshui was really going to be forced to participate in the life and death battle? Mr. Zhang, you can't promise him, the people of Tianshui Pavilion shouted. Do you have the right to speak on our decisions? Lin Xian turned around and saw the sky and earth shattering around him. The people from Tianshui Pavilion spat out blood and retreated. Their faces were filled with fear. Elder Yuan's expression also changed greatly. He said, Stop, we have to discuss this matter properly. Junior brother Tianshui had been punished previously and was severely injured. He would not be able to recover in a short period of time. If you want to fight him to the death, you have to wait until he recovers his strength. Otherwise, it would be too unfair. That's right. At this moment, another 2 elders joined forces and came over. There was nothing they could do about it. Even the Ocean Abyss Divine General had come, so they had to take it seriously. After the arrival of the 2 elders, Elder Yuan, who was in the front, immediately gained confidence. In that case, give us 10 years. Junior brother Tianshui's injuries are very serious. He won't be able to recover in a short period of time. 10 years later, he will have a battle to the death with you." Lin Xian laughed when he heard this. 10 years? The other party had no intention of participating in the death match at all. It was just a different way of saying it. He stretched out a hand and said, "I'll give you 5 days. After 5 days, he must come and fight." "Brat, don't be too impudent," the two new elders shouted angrily. "Don't think that you can be arrogant in front of me just because you have a divine general. If you don't agree, fine. I'll ask Senior Divine General to send me away. But from now on, I'll kill anyone from the Sky Sect I see. That is, unless the disciples of the Sky Sect never take a single step out of the mountain gate in their entire lives." Hearing this, the surrounding Sky Sect disciples felt their scalps go numb. If they were targeted by such a demonic figure, they probably wouldn't even have the strength to resist. The three elders narrowed their eyes. "How dare you?" They were full of murderous intent. Divine General Haiyuan took a step forward. "Are you going to attack someone on the Holy Gulf on a roll?" Damn it. The three elders were so angry that they almost vomited blood. With the Divine General here to protect them, they couldn't do anything at all. If they didn't agree and angered the other party, given Mad God's personality, he would really do something like that. After all, he had killed the people of the Fifth Elder's faction. They even suspected that the death of the clan leader had something to do with this Mad God. Such a person was a demon. They couldn't afford to offend him. Thinking of this, they said, "Okay, 5 days. We agree." The surrounding people were in an uproar. They were shocked. They didn't expect their elders to bow down to the other party. It was unbelievable. Lin Xian smiled. "Then go back and tell Tianshui that I won't hold back in 5 days." Divine General Haiyuan also said, "Then I'll wait here for 5 days. I'm also looking forward to this battle." Hearing this, the expressions of Elder Yuan and the others changed again. This way, they had no chance to attack Lin Xian at all. "Let's go." They quickly returned. It seemed that they had to use some means to restore Elder Tianshui. Lin Xian and the Divine General of the Sea Abyss were invited into Tianzhong Valley respectfully and received extremely great treatment. They had no choice. Although they hated Mad God, they didn't dare to offend Divine General Haiyuan. Offending a Divine General was the same as offending the Sage Origin Tower. Even the Heavenly Sect had to consider the consequences. In the core area of the Heavenly Sect, Elder Yuan and the others gathered together. There were other elders flying over from afar. When they heard the news, they were also furious. How dare a Mad God behave so atrociously in front of them? Damn it. So what if he has the support of Divine General Haiyuan? Does the Heavenly Sect not have any divine generals? Indeed, as one of the 3 major orthodoxies, the Heavenly Sect definitely had experts on the Holy Gulf honor roll. There were even people in the Heavenly Sect who had become divine generals. Therefore, when they saw Lin Xian had the support of a divine general, they instantly decided to invite their own divine generals. This way, the other party wouldn't dare to be arrogant. However, at this moment, Elder Yuan sighed. The others might be able to do it, but Mad God was probably not ordinary. He had made it to the 1,000th place on the honor roll in 3 battles. Who knew how far he would go in the 4th battle? Some people even guessed that he was another emperor's son. Even the inner circle of the Abyss Tower would not easily touch such a person. Moreover, he was challenging Elder Tianshui this time. Although Tianshui was an elder, he was only a mid-supreme saint. Moreover, he did break the rules in front of everyone by attacking a young man. Therefore, they didn't have a good reason to stop him. Many people sighed. In the end, it was still a matter of benefits. If Mad God challenged Kunpingzi this time, no one would agree. They would use all their reinforcements to stop him. However, it was a pity that he was only challenging Elder Tianshui, a person who was punished. Therefore, they wouldn't use all their trump cards. It seemed that they could only fight. They would give more resources to Tian Shui so that he could recover in 5 days. 5 days later, they couldn't afford to lose this battle. Elder Yuan nodded. I'll go and prepare now. Tian Shui Mountain Range. Elder Tian Shui was currently recuperating. The punishment from a month ago had indeed injured him badly. Suddenly, he heard one of his subordinates reporting to him. Mad God wanted to challenge him to a battle to the death. He was instantly enraged. Chapter 4867. Despicable brat, you've gone too far. If I'm not injured, I'll definitely slap you to death. Tian Shui roared. He wasn't worried at all. In his opinion, the Sky Sect would reject him for her sake. However, when Elder Yuan arrived, he was stunned. Elder Yuan said, Junior brother Tian Shui, you have to recover to your peak within 5 days and engage in a battle of life and death. What? How was that possible? 5 days? Elder Tian Shui was stunned. Didn't you reject him? Elder Yuan shook his head. He couldn't reject him. You can only fight. How could this be? Elder Tian Shui was stunned. He didn't know what was going on. However, this time, Elder Yuan represented the Sky Sect's will. This meant that it couldn't be changed. Damn it. He clenched his teeth so hard. However, Elder Yuan said, Junior brother, don't worry. We'll provide enough resources for you to recover. We can even let you consume a secret pill and reach your peak within 5 days. Of course, you know that the secret pill has side effects. I'm afraid that you won't be able to recover within 30 years after reaching your peak. So, you have to think carefully. Try your best to recover first. If you can't, you can consume the secret pill. I understand. Thank you, senior brother. Tian Shui nodded, but his expression was cold. At their level, they couldn't break through even after cultivating for hundreds or even thousands of years. However, this and not cultivating were two completely different situations. If you didn't cultivate for 30 years and got injured, you wouldn't be able to catch up with others for the rest of your life. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, Elder Tian Shui didn't want to consume this secret pill. He put it away and prepared to focus on recovering from his injuries. On the other side, in the valley, Lin Xian was also silently adjusting his condition. Elder Haiyuan's eyes flickered. He was very curious. What kind of face was under this demonic aura? Was he an expert of the older generation or a young genius? There were even a few times when he couldn't help but want to tear apart the demonic aura. However, he still restrained himself. Using demonic aura to cover his body, and using his title meant that he didn't want to reveal his true identity. Naturally, he couldn't force it. However, he was still curious. Mad God was strong, but the combat power he displayed was only at the beginning stage of a supreme saint. Elder Tian Shui was at the middle stage of a supreme saint. Could Mad God challenge those above his level? Or did he have a trump card? He was looking forward to it. This matter quickly spread, so much so that everyone in the Holy Abyss ancient city knew about it. In an instant, countless people cried out in alarm. What? Mad God was about to attack again. Who was it this time? It was Elder Tian Shui. Heavens! Had Mad God ascended to the Celestial Sect? It was said that he even challenged the elders of the Sky Sect. God, would he be able to come back safely? Cries of surprise could be heard. The Heavenly Sect was one of the 3 great orthodoxies. How terrifying was that ancient city? Who would dare to behave atrociously in such a place? But Mad God dared to do so. 5 days later, there would be a life and death battle. Let's go and take a look. This time, countless people had gathered here. The last time they were so excited was during the battle between Lin Xian and Yi Chun. At that time, it was a battle between 2 young peak-level geniuses. This time, Elder Tianshui was a great sage middle stage. He was a Tianzong elder and was very strong. As for the mad god, he was even more extraordinary and incomparably mysterious. No one knew his identity or cultivation base. However, they knew that he was ranked 1,000 on the honor roll. Such combat strength was equally terrifying. There was a limit to the ranking on the Elysium honor roll. One had to be at least a great sage. Moreover, one could not exceed the great sage middle stage. In other words, those below the great sage middle stage could not challenge the honor roll at all. However, this did not mean that the people on the honor roll were not weaker than the great sage middle stage. The Dragon Prince, Kunpengzi, and the others were not even great sages, but they could occupy the first place. Kunpengzi, in particular, had reached the top and become the one-crowned king. Their strength was probably more terrifying than the great sage middle stage. This was only the one-crowned king. It was said that there had been a three-crowned king in the past. Even people like Elder Yuan and the Levitation Saint were terrified of that power. Therefore, everyone was looking forward to this battle. Lingxiao Peak. It was a very famous peak in the Holy Origin ancient city. It was 90,000 meters tall. It was like a divine sword piercing the clouds. Usually very few people came here. But today, it was extremely lively. Damn it, what was going on? Why were there so many humans here? In the sky, a few green rocks and divine eagles frowned. They flapped their wings unhappily. They would come to Lingxiao Peak every month. They would stand on the peak and absorb the qi of heaven and earth to cultivate. But now they were not allowed to go up. Damn it, who was it? The experts from the heavenly sect stood there and said that there would be a battle at Lingxiao Peak in a few days. No one was allowed to go up to avoid setting up formations. Damn it, they were from the heavenly sect. A green rock was shocked. The divine eagle also said, who was going to fight? Were there people from the heavenly sect? They were not the only ones who were stopped. Everyone else was stopped as well. Whether it was the clan of the ancients, the great sects, or even the true path sect, and the earth sect, they could only wait at the foot of the mountain. No one was allowed to go up. Who knew if Mad God's teammates were hiding among these people? If they set up a killing formation, Tianshui would be in danger. Of course, they did not dare to do so. After all, doing so would be challenging the Sacred Origin Tower. Therefore, they tried their best to stop everyone. The Levitation Saint from the True Path sect was also there. Bai Susu was beside him. Bai Susu was extremely excited. She could finally see the legendary Mad God. She wondered what he was like. Beside her, the people from the Divine Union were also clenching their fists. The Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongya, and the others were also there. They were also a little nervous because they knew that Mad God was Lin Xian. Other than Fu Hongya and Lu Yuan, only the Crimson Dragon and the other four knew about this secret. Other than them, no one else knew about it, including Bai Susu. Therefore, these people were extremely excited at this moment. Bai Susu also said that Lin Xian was actually in seclusion at such a crucial time. He was going to miss out on an earth-shattering battle. The people at the side laughed. Don't worry, the formation we brought will record this battle and show it to Boss Lin. The Duga clan and the Nalan clan were also there. Other than them, the Blue clan and the Dragon Palace experts were also there. They were all waiting. At this moment, two figures descended from the sky. They were here. Countless people turned their heads to look. They saw two people. One of them was wearing battle armor and had a terrifying aura. They knew that this was divine General Sheng Yuan, and the other person should be Mad God. What a terrifying demonic aura. Countless people were shocked. They saw that the demonic aura on the other person was like an unparalleled demon. They could not see his face clearly. Could Mad God be an expert of the demonic path? Chapter 4868. The Levitation Saint was shocked. This was the first time he had seen such a godlike figure. However, for some reason, he felt like he had seen this person before. It was a strange feeling, but after thinking about it carefully, he couldn't remember when he had seen this person before. He was a late-stage great sage. This feeling couldn't be wrong. Could it be someone he knew? He was shocked. After thinking about it, he couldn't think of anyone. Could it be the mad god? Perhaps he had heard too many legends about him recently and was overthinking it. The Levitation Saint shook his head and stopped thinking about it. The others were also discussing it. After Lin Xian arrived, he went straight to the top of the Lingshao Peak. His body kept rising until he finally stood on top of the Lingshao Peak and looked down. Now that he had arrived, the Sky Sect members no longer stopped him and started to lower their defenses. Countless figures rose into the sky. They wanted to occupy an advantageous position to watch the battle. "Father, bring us up," Bai Su said. The Levitation Saint waved his hand and opened his sacred region. He brought Bai Su, the Crimson Dragon, and the other divine union members up into the sky and into the 9 heavens. Apart from him, there were also some terrifying people standing in the 9 heavens. These people weren't any weaker than the Levitation Saint. Among them, old Master Ling Hu and Nalanda were also there. They represented 2 top families and had the right to stand there. Apart from them, the others landed one after another. The positions were arranged according to one's status and strength. Lin Xian stood on the highest peak of the Lingshao Peak with his hands behind his back. He looked around and saw many familiar faces. The Levitation Saint, old Master Dugu, Nalanda, Fire Dragon Lady, Qing Feng, and even Bai Li Fei were there. Further away were Blue Pool and Wind Dragon from the Dragon Palace, Yi Wudao, the Earth Sect's overlord, and Lin Xian even saw Light and Alcade. They were all here to watch the battle. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He wondered how many of them knew his true identity. Well, he would show everyone the power of the mad god today. The Sky Sect members were naturally there too. Elder Yuan stood in the 9 heavens with a cold expression. There were many disciples following behind him. Some of them were from the Tianshui Pavilion. These people clenched their fists. Just wait and see. Their Sky Sect would definitely not lose this battle. Lin Xian's gaze swept past these people. Then he looked into the distance. A terrifying light burst out from his eyes, piercing through heaven and earth. The others also turned around. "It's coming." They saw an old man flying over quickly. Beside him, terrifying seawater surrounded him. It was Elder Tianshui. Elder Tianshui was like a sea deity as he came with a strong aura. His injuries from before seemed to have disappeared. From the looks of it, the other party had been absorbing countless natural resources over the past 5 days in order to recover fully. After all, this battle not only concerned his life, but also the heavenly sect's reputation. Tianshui came to the vicinity of Lingshao Peak and stared at Lin Xian. "Mad God, you want to stand up for Lin Xian? Fight me to the death. Today I'll send you to hell." His voice was filled with confidence. Elder Yuan and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Great, it seemed that Tianshui had recovered. Then there was no need to fear this battle. Because of the restrictions of the Holy Gulf list, Mad God was at most an early stage Supreme Saint. Even so, there was still a gap between him and Tianshui, and it was very likely that Tianshui was not even a Supreme Saint. In this case, the gap between them would be even greater. Hence, they were confident in this battle. You are not qualified to say this. Lin Xian looked at Tianshui. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Back then, Tianshui had used his power to bully him. Today, he would take revenge. So, what if Tianshui was a mid-stage Supreme Saint? Today, Lin Xian would also use his strongest trump card. Moreover, others did not notice, but Lin Xian had the heavenly secret prodigy. He noticed that although Tianshui's aura seemed powerful, he was injured and had not fully recovered. Tianshui was not at the pinnacle and could not compete with him. Tianshui frowned when he saw the cold light in Tianshui's eyes. Tianshui was terrified by Tianshui's gaze. It seemed that Tianshui had seen through his secret. Humph, I hate this look. Later, I will make it disappear forever. Elder Tianshui sneered. Let's start the battle. I want to see what courage you have to fight me to the death. Beside Elder Tianshui, terrifying heavenly spirit, holy water appeared. It covered the sky. Heavenly spirit, holy sword. With a wave of his hand, endless heavenly water law condensed into a holy sword and fell from the sky. The surrounding people exclaimed. Elder Tianshui had used his ultimate technique right from the start. It seemed that Elder Tianshui was not giving Tianshui a chance. The heavenly water holy sword released a terrifying aura between heaven and earth. It was as if it wanted to split heaven and earth in half. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian smiled. Light of the demon god. With a wave of his hand, endless light of the demon god flew out and covered the sky. It seemed to have turned into a sword of the demon world. Boom! It collided with Tianshui's heavenly spirit holy sword. What a useless brat! Sensing the light of the demon god, Elder Tianshui sneered. He could see that Lin Xian was only at the early stage of the great sage realm and could not be compared to him. As expected, Tianshui's heavenly spirit holy sword split all the light of the demon god apart and charged towards Lin Xian. So fast! Countless people exclaimed. Lin Xian's figure flashed and disappeared instantly. A black hole appeared where he was standing. It was broken. You are just SO. You want to compete with me? With this little strength? Elder Tianshui laughed. The people from the heavenly sect heaved a sigh of relief. They could see that the gap between the two was huge. The others exclaimed. What was going on? Could it be that Mad God could not win? No, he was very powerful. Some people said that Mad God was powerful, but was Elder Tianshui weak? He was a mid-stage great sage, an elder of the heavenly sect. Did you think that he would be killed like the young man? His strength was comparable to the Nalen family. Powerful. Mad God was going to lose this time. That was for sure. The people from the heavenly sect sneered. Not only was he going to lose, but this was a battle of life and death. If he lost, he would die. Their eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongya, and the others were nervous. Was it too much? Lin Xian's eyes were also flickering. His opponent was indeed powerful and was seriously injured, but he was not someone an early-stage great sage could compare to. The gap between the two was too big. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. This time, he had originally planned to use his super trump card, so everything in front of him was within his expectations. Kid, you are no match for me at all. Leave any last words, or I will send you to hell. With a wave of his hand, 2 more Tianshui's heavenly spirit holy swords appeared. 3 Tianshui's heavenly spirit holy swords descended from the sky. This time, they blocked all of Lin Xian's escape routes from all directions. He would never give his opponent a chance to escape again. It's over. Mad God is dead. Countless people shook their heads. They did not expect the battle to end so quickly. Chapter 4869. Facing this peerless attack, a black jar appeared in Lin Xian's hand. It created a terrifying vortex that swallowed the heavens and earth. The 3 terrifying celestial spirit holy swords were all swallowed. Not dead? The people from the celestial sect couldn't believe it. The others were also in an uproar. Among them, the pupils of many great saints shrank as they stared fixedly at the black jar. What was that? They were shocked. It seemed to be a very powerful weapon that could swallow the celestial spirit holy swords. It was not simple. No wonder Mad God dared to fight him to the death. He had a powerful trump card. One after another, voices were heard. The Crimson Dragon, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Great, taking out the sky-devouring jar meant that Lin Xian had decided to go all out. This time, he would definitely not be defeated. Bai Susu was also surprised. Wasn't that Lin Xian's weapon? However, when she thought about the close relationship between Lin Xian and Mad God, she understood. Perhaps it was Mad God's weapon, or Lin Xian had lent it to Mad God. From the beginning to the end, she didn't think of the two of them as the same person because it was too shocking. It wasn't just her. Even her father, the levitation saint, didn't think so. In front, Elder Tianshui's pupils constricted and his face darkened. He still had a powerful Dharma treasure. After I kill you, this treasure will be mine. He felt an extremely terrifying aura from the sky-devouring jar, which made him very jealous. You're trash. You don't have the right to use such a treasure. As he spoke, he attacked again. Heavenly Water Fist. With a punch, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. The Heavenly Water Law surged out and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian activated the sky-devouring jar with all his strength and crazily devoured his opponent's power. The terrifying fist and Heavenly Water Law attacked Lin Xian, but they were all swallowed. Damn it, I don't believe you can control it forever. Elder Tianshui attacked crazily. However, all he did was shatter the void. Lin Xian stood there like a god-fiend, watching coldly. It was about time. Lin Xian took a deep breath. The heaven-swallowing jar was the same as the great dragon sword spirit. With his current strength, he could only display a portion of its power. If one wanted to unleash an extremely powerful attack, one would have to exceed the amount of power one could withstand. Either he burned his life force, regardless of the cost, or he had to provide external power and resources. This time, Lin Xian planned to borrow the power of the Four Spirit Valley. His voice was transmitted back to the Sword World. For spiritual beasts, provide me with strength. When the four spiritual beasts heard the message, they raised their heads to the sky and roared, transmitting the power of the Four Spiritual Valley. Lin Xian felt a surge of energy that wanted to tear his body apart. He didn't dare to be careless, and instantly transferred this energy to the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar shook violently. There were countless demonic runes on it, as if it wanted to devour the world. At this moment, the entire world darkened. Everyone was terrified. They felt as if their bodies were about to be swallowed up by the darkness. Hurry up and leave. They retreated in a frenzy. Even Elder Yuan, the levitation saint, and the others were terrified and quickly retreated. What kind of weapon was that? Was it the legendary thing? Damn it, what was going on? How could you unleash such terrifying power? Elder Tianshui was stunned. This was different from what he had imagined. What kind of secret pill did the other party consume? This power was too terrifying. Damn it, could it be that he was burning his life force? What a lunatic. He also retreated quickly, unwilling to fight back. However, how could he escape? Lin Xian held the heaven-devouring jar in his hand, like a god that could devour the heavens, devouring the world. Elder Tianshui felt that he was enveloped by a force. His soul seemed to be leaving his body, and his body seemed to be melting. Damn it, get out of my way. He attacked frantically. Between heaven and earth, countless heavenly spirits' sacred swords tore through the void, slashing towards Lin Xian, wanting to kill him. However, all of this was blocked by the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar descended from the sky, covering half of Elder Tianshui's body. His body instantly turned into a bloody mist. No, Elder Tianshui screamed crazily, trying to escape. In the end, his upper body was smashed into pieces, leaving only his head. He managed to escape. After that attack, the darkness between heaven and earth disappeared. Lin Xian stood there with a cold expression. The others looked over. How was it? When they saw that only Elder Tianshui's head was left, they were all stunned. How was that possible? Elder Tianshui was severely injured in an instant? That was too unbelievable. His opponent was simply too terrifying. That weapon of his was actually so strange. It was the legendary weapon. The people of the Sky Sect were also shocked. Lin Xian sneered. With the heaven-devouring jar in his hand, he walked forward again. What are your last words? Stay, or I'll send you to hell. Elder Tianshui had said those words to him before, and now he was repeating them word for word. Elder Tianshui was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Elder Yuan also said, Crazy God, I want you to kneel and apologize to Lin Xian. Can you stop? Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered. It was too late. Go to hell and apologize. The heaven-devouring jar released a terrifying aura again. Elder Tianshui's expression turned ugly. Kid, do you think you're the only one with a trump card? I have one too. You burned your life force for that attack just now, right? You don't have the strength to launch another attack like that now. As for me, I can return to my peak in an instant. Let's see how you die now. Elder Tianshui seemed to have gone crazy. A pill flew out from between his eyebrows, and he swallowed it. Boom. A terrifying blood-red light shrouded him. He roared at the sky, and his broken body quickly recovered. On top of that, his aura was constantly rising. What's that? Bai Susu and the others were shocked. The others were also in an uproar. The old man of the Duguf family narrowed his eyes. Could it be a secret pill from the heavens? I heard that it's a very powerful pill. It can restore a severely injured person to their peak in an instant and maintain super combat power. However, this pill has a very strong side effect. After the pill's effect wears off, the person will be weak for decades. It will be difficult for them to return to their peak. It seems like Elder Tianshui is really desperate. That's why he used such a trump card. Hearing this, countless people were shocked. The price was indeed high, but he could return to his peak. With a clang, the blood-red light disappeared. Elder Tianshui walked out. His strength was even stronger than before. At this moment, even his internal injuries had recovered. He was shining brightly like a god of the sea, standing there. His gaze swept across, and the sky fell, and the earth cracked. Everyone felt a sense of fear. Kid, I've already returned to my peak. Do you still have the strength to fight me? If not, I'll let you experience the feeling of living a life worse than death. Tianshui roared. The precepts of Tianshui gathered on his body, forming a sword of water that he held. Then he charged forward. The spectators could only sigh when they felt the vast amount of power. This time, Mad God was really in danger. However, Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. He's out of strength? What a joke. He has a sword world behind him. Chapter 4870. The four spiritual beasts are giving me power. Lin Xian transmitted his voice again. Inside the sword world, the four spiritual beasts were about to go crazy when they heard that. F*CK. Kid, can you not be such a wastrel? There isn't much power gathered in this world, and you've used so much this time. Don't you feel heartache? Cut the crap and send it to me. Lin Xian transmitted his voice. The four spiritual beasts had no choice. This world belonged to him, and they were just housekeepers. Hence, they could only send their power over. Devour. Lin Xian sent out a super strong power to the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar bloomed, turning into a black ray of light that pierced through the front. No, Elder Tianxue was going crazy. How could his opponent still make such a strong attack? And why wasn't his opponent dead? Wasn't he burning his power? Could it be that he guessed wrong? He was filled with regret and wanted to escape, but it was too late. With this attack, the heaven-devouring jar swallowed his soul completely. It was crushed by the merciless darkness and turned into nothingness. Buzz. Elder Tianxue's body fell from the sky and landed on the ground. The ground cracked and turned into a canyon. Was he dead? Countless people were shocked. They couldn't believe it. The people of Tianxue Pavilion fainted from fright. The sky sect elder's face was cold. How could it be? Even after consuming the secret pill, Tianxue still died. Damn it. How did this kid have the strength to use so much power and this legendary black jar that could devour the heavens and the earth? Could it be that terrifying weapon, the heaven-devouring jar? Could it be that this mad god had some connection with the heavenly court? In an instant, countless people were discussing in shock. Take his body and leave. Elder Yuan gritted his teeth and waved his hand. The people of the Sky sect quickly snatched Elder Tianxue's body back and left. This time, it was too embarrassing. They would probably become a joke. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he soared into the sky. He put away the heaven-devouring jar because he realized that many people had their eyes on him. It seemed that they were all after the heaven-devouring jar. He wouldn't give them a chance. Before disappearing, the divine general of the ocean abyss sent a voice transmission saying, "We still have some matters to discuss with you. When the time comes, go to the sacred abyss tower." Lin Xian replied, and then his body disappeared. Meanwhile, some of the top great sages were also vanishing. From the looks of it, they went to search for him. However, not long after, they shook their heads and returned, sighing. He ran away. The other party's speed was faster than they had imagined. The battle ended quickly. Countless people were shocked. The news instantly spread, and Mad God's reputation rose again. Everyone was guessing. The other party's ranking was definitely not as simple as the top 1,000. With the addition of the terrifying heaven-devouring jar, the other party's ranking could definitely rise. Before the members of the Nalen family were frightened, they were still somewhat unconvinced about the death of the fifth elder. However, they were forcefully suppressed by the new patriarch. But now there was no need for the new patriarch to say anything. No one dared to take revenge. They had seen Mad God's strength with their own eyes. He was too strong, so strong that they found it hard to resist. Many top geniuses even considered Mad God their idol. On the other side, Lin Xian returned to his spiritual abode and retracted the demonic aura all over his body. He knew that Bai Susu and the rest should be back soon. Not long after, Bai Susu and the rest of the divine union rushed back. Lin Xian, come out quickly, Bai Susu shouted happily. Lin Xian pretended to be surprised when he came out. What was she so happy about? Bai Susu said, "It's a pity that you didn't go." The members of the divine union nodded their heads vigorously. Yes, boss. Mad God was too strong. He had destroyed a mid-great sage elder in a few moves. It was simply heaven-defying. But it's okay, boss. We have already recorded it with an array formation. Look, these people had recorded the previous scene. Lin Xian nodded his head after watching it. It was indeed very cool. The Crimson Dragon, Lu Yuan, and the rest had strange looks on their faces. They didn't know what this kid was thinking when he saw the scene of the battle. A group of people cheered here. On the other side, the members of the Dragon Palace looked gloomy. Lan Ziyu gritted his teeth and said, "This mad god was too powerful. He was already famous in the ancient city. Plus, he had that weapon of his. Ordinary great sages wouldn't dare to go against him. The abominable thing was that Mad God was related to Lin Xian. In this case, they would probably have to give Lin Xian some face." Wind Dragon laughed. No matter how strong Mad God was, he wouldn't dare to go against the Dragon Palace. The trump card of the Dragon Palace wasn't something he could imagine. When the time came, a few late great sage elders would come out, and he would be dead. There was nothing to be afraid of. By the way, I have already arranged for you to get in touch with the Dragon Prince. How is it? Hearing this, Lan Ziyu smiled. Very good. I've successfully attracted his attention. I am going to show my charm in the next few days. I will succeed soon. Lan Ziyu had been thinking of various ways to get in touch with the Dragon Prince these days. In addition to Wine Dragon's secret help and persuasion, the Dragon Prince also met Lan Ziyu a few times. The more he met him, the more he liked him. This woman was not bad. To be honest, he never lacked women around him. But this time, it was Wind Dragon who recommended him and even helped a lot. In the end, Lan Ziyu really stayed by the Dragon Prince's side. Lan Ziyu was very happy. With the help of the Dragon Prince, Lin Xian would be dead for sure. The Dragon Prince had too many resources around him. It was the power of many worlds, which Lan Ziyu had never come into contact with before. She stayed by the Dragon Prince's side. Her strength had improved by leaps and bounds in the past few days, which shocked her. No wonder the gap between the two sides was so big. Just these resources alone were enough to sweep everything. That Lin Xian still wanted to go against the Dragon Prince? What kind of joke was this? Did he have such resources? Lan Ziyu started a revenge plan in her heart. Holy Abyss City was incomparably crazy. During this period, countless top geniuses went to the Holy Abyss Tower to prepare for the challenge. Mad God had shocked the world with a single feat from the Holy Abyss Tower. They also wanted to go down this path. But unfortunately, the Holy Abyss Tower was not a place that any genius could challenge. Most of the geniuses couldn't even reach the first level, which made them despair. Mad God entered the top 1,000 3 times. How terrifying was that? Among them, one person succeeded. Not only that, his ranking rose in a straight line. He directly entered the top 10,000 in his first challenge, and his ranking continued to rise. Finally, it stopped at the top 5,000. Everyone went crazy. Who was this person? It was too terrifying. Was another Mad God rising to power? Countless people were discussing. They stared at the name on the glory leaderboard. Who was Eastern Sage? Go and find him. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.